in 1 minute's time. All our panel members, speakers are already arrived, and shortly we'll be starting our program in 1 minute time. And this is a three-day program. Today we are on the third day. The program was started on 20th with the chief guest Dr. Kirti Srivastava, followed by Ms. Shruti Gaddam, Professor Rashmi Bhadwaj, and Dr. Bhavana B. on the first day. On the second day, we had the keynote speaker, Dr. Sharani Ghoshal Mundal from NIT Goa, Ms. Smita D. Vaman from United States of America, Dr. Radhika Rani, Assistant Professor, Kakati University, and Dr. H.P. Rani, Associate Professor from NIT Warangal on yesterday. We are all heard about exciting presentations and their views, and also from the panel members. The lead was Professor K.V. Jayakumar sir, Professor NIT Warangal, along with the Dr. V. Barla sir, myself, and Mrs. Shiny Peter, and Rini Varghese also was there. And today we have the eminent speaker and distinguished guest, Dr. Ruba N. Munungabadi from Government of Madagascar. She is a cabinet minister and she is the chief guest of the day. And we have the keynote speakers, Dr. G.C. Kavita, Dr. Savita Narasimhaya, and Ms. Shashantiga. Ms. Shashantiga is a third-year BE Biomedical Engineering student from Rajagiri Engineering College, Chennai. So welcome to all of you for this wonderful day of this program. And we shall be starting this program now with a silent prayer. Let's start the program with a silent prayer by sitting in the same place. Thank you all. A very good morning to all of you. Welcome to this 3 days international webinar on professional development of women engineers in post-COVID era. This program is organized by Baselios Institute of Technology and Science, MBITS, Kothamangalam, Ernakulam district, Kerala, India. This is an NAC accredited institute, jointly along with the YMCA Pothanicad, and in association with Accredited Training.online Canada. And the topics which will be covering the major developments of the women engineers, and our panel leader is Professor K.V. Jayakumar, Professor NIT Warangal, and along with that other panel members, Dr. V. Barla, sir, Professor and Director of Center for Applied Research, Hyderabad, Dr. H.P. Rani, Associate Professor, NIT Warangal, myself, Dr. P. Sojanlal, Principal MBITS, Kothamangalam, Kerala, as well as I am the President of YMCA Pothanicad Unit. And Mrs. Shiny Peter, Assistant Professor MBITS, and Mrs. Rini Varghese P, Assistant Professor. These are the panel leaders. And also, we already joined our chief guest, Dr. Ruba N. Munungabadi, the Technical Advisor for International Relationship Development, Ministry of Interior Affairs, Decentralization, Government of Madagascar. She is a cabinet minister in Government of Madagascar, Sofia region. And we have the keynote speaker, Dr. G.C. Kavita from Hyderabad, Dr. Savita Narasimhaya from Kolar, Karnataka, and Ms. Shashantiga, yes, BE third year student from Chennai. And my dear respected panel members, participants, colleagues, and MBITS team management, welcome to all this program. Over to Manju for introducing our chief guest and panel members.
Thank you, Dr. Sojan, sir. Let me introduce the chief guest of the day, Dr. Ruba N. Munungabadi, Technical Advisor for International Relationships Development, Ministry of Interior Affairs, Decentralization, Government of Madagascar. She is a founder member of the SR Group, which offer development of projects with government and non-government institutions in our global country, which will take the economy to a scaled height as a tie-up with developed countries. The presence of SR Group is felt with contribution in many projects internationally. Her education goals include MA, MCom in Corporate Secretaryship, Commercial Law, MBA Finance, and PhD in Economics French. She is well introduced under the platform of Minister of Consular Technical General Permanent International Development for Region Sofia, Madagascar. and also the international delegate representing the government of Madagascar, Department des Mayotte and Comoros, designated to improve the international business relations with all the developed countries so as to develop economic growth of Madagascar, Mayotte territories, France and Comoros country. She is the president with United Indian African Chamber of Commerce Pty Limited and is also the global delegation leader of India. Dr. Rupa is a passionate leader with first-class communication skills and long track record of successful management. She ensures that clear objectives and expectations are delivered and maintained. Her education is at a high level with extensive knowledge of all current economic, social, and regulatory issues. We are so proud to have you here as our chief guest. With great pleasure, inviting you to the session. Over to you, Dr. Ruba, madam.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Before anything, I would like to mention this event has been organized by Women's Cell MBITS. If you think about it, is an event that takes much time to organize and build up. I would like to thank them for thinking about the colleagues, the theme they have chosen as a very actual and one which in reality, we still don't know which till it will end, but we'll all hope it will end soon as possible. It is about the professional development of engineers in post-COVID era. So please let us all give them a loud and warm clap of hands. And I'm Dr. Rupa N. Munugapati, Technical Advisor for International Relationship Development and working as a Cabinet Ministry. And at the same time, Interior Affairs and Decentralization Government of Madagascar. We're talking about this, our today's, since 3 days, we were conducting very good webinar platform. So for these keynotes and solutions, I would like to suggest something. And can I get slides, please?
Please keep the slides, please. Elndo Stingu. Yeah, meanwhile, you can continue. They will set it.
Yeah, up to now, we have seen the 6 problems that from motivational point of view. We have 6 concepts that need a post-pandemic situation. All of them have many points in common. So for some time reason, we can only give brief outline. A profound study must follow with projects. So up to now in the world, most problems that have been treated have been solved from one perspective, not considering that the world has to be looked at also embracing non-material perspectives. This means to consider who we are. Once we know this, we can safely tackle the problem looking at the tree and not only the branches. We have to look at it from different perspective and so on. There are elements that need different approach. This is why every problem must be looked at the tree and not only the branches. First point, we're talking about career opportunities for women engineers. Hence, we will enumerate some of the solutions for the post-corona virus in India and the world at the same time. A deep and serious study should be made perspective as a human being needs to obtain and reach optimum % level of women engineers, focusing on career opportunities post-corona and pandemic. This is an optimal time to start change, not only because of the post-pandemic effect will have, but because of these policies, some countries are taking increase local posts also. The present situation needs to start changes. They will be an aid governments of consider what type of opening opportunities it has to give. A profound analysis has to be made, understand the subject from the micro to macro level. Okay, and a proud Opportunities for women engineers will grow if there are special policies made the central government and state government. Some should be similar to those given to women by the railway sectors in India, where you have better work-life balance, special provisions for women maternity leave, equal growth opportunity, handsome salary, etc. Special care for newborn babies also. If these items is missed out, I suggest that as this topic has been put forward by the Women's Cell MBITS, it should be tackled by them with external aid. And opportunities of an entrepreneurship for women. Here also in the national and state policy for women engineers, non-government professionals are to be considered. Here also a profound study must be made to create a new opportunities for post-pandemic. So post-pandemic work and India at the same time worldwide also. One of the most immediate perspective for solutions can be found in the agriculture area. With view new technical development, there are solutions for now and the future. Vertical hydroponic farming, where you need engineers from many fields like software engineer, mechanical engineer, agriculture engineer, civil engineer. A future career, because of our understanding the world, will continue to grow in a fixed area where the scarcity of land, water and food will be the main topic for everybody also. And another thing, middle challenges for employed women engineers. Before special policies are made on the subject, commission should be formed. New positions should be also taken into consideration. A special study should also done on the subject, collecting analytical data using mixture of qualitative and quantitative data collection, which should be also applied to all previous subjects. The commissions should be proposed to central and local government, looking at them from all angles also. And the next point, workplace safety and security for women. Like mentioned before, there are many measures that have been taken cover this area in the pre-pandemic stage also, and which are also valid for the post-pandemic state. To have good solutions to what comes to be new problem, a serious research strategy must be considered, as the pandemic has brought us to do post research on the problem. Measures to stop the uncontrolled development in coming with the development a new pandemics, which would involve new lockdowns and disaster to our economy. The study should start as soon as possible, proposed by Commission of Women Engineers led by Women's Cell MBITS to the central and local government also. Here also the journal will be useful as covering the latest development in on the 6 subjects they deal with. I would like to share some more my personal views also in the experiences also. I will give some examples also. And post-retirement careers for women. Here also, if we don't have a serious study which implies statistics extra, we won't be able to diagnose a correct solution on the subject and leave out the valuable experience that retired women have. And last one, opportunities for continuous learning for women. Here also we need hand to state and local policies to stimulate continuous learning. The aim should be to become one of the best nations for this development, doing for the same in a global aid also. Here we also need first to have the policies for India. After time implementation and seeing the positive results, export the new perspective to other countries, all pilot projects for India, and the other countries should be taken also by the Women's Cell MBITS. And in this, first of all, I would like to say something about women. We must treat as a self-lover. When you self-love, you will learn so many things. When you strong, you can do anything in the world. When you're strong, you are mentally. When you strong to do something, yes, I can do. First, you motivate yourself. No one give you any suggestions at the end time. So you must prepare yourself. When you are truth, when you are strong, no one will beat you, and no one harm. And when you're every day, you must uh, talk with yourself first. When you wake up in the morning, you give first your time. When you love your own, so you will build up very strong, and you can beyond sky is the limit. And we don't want to depend anyone. And worldwide, and as a human being, and everywhere, you will become very strong when you do something. To be, your aim should be strong. And at the same time, in the world, time is very precious. Okay, our mother, father, and time, there is precious in the world. We must give respect these three. And when you follow your time, so you will be the winner. And we never buy in this world. No one can buy this world. So you must follow the time. Don't wait for this past what happened and post what happened. It's what's going on. No need. Current is ours. We don't know past. It's gone, and the future we don't know. But current is ours. So you must enjoy every second. You must enjoy everything as a strong woman. You have everything inbuilt only. No need to give other support also. When you are inside, you must take it like a skill. You have whatever your skill, reskill whatever you have, and again you reskill, and after that you upskill. Then you will consider as a percentage. And example I would like to give that Madagascar related, that is some brief. I don't want to take much time. In Madagascar, that is fourth largest island in the world. But so many people doesn't know where is Madagascar actually. Where is Madagascar? But that is Southeast Africa. That local population is 35 million only. And there are 80% illiterate, 20% literate. But at the same time, I never seen in my that life sadness in their face. They don't have food even 4 days. They're eating of 4 days like radish, like cassava and all. There on earth, they're eating that level only, because they don't know the world, out of world is Madagascar. And they have very good skills, some inside, and dominated ladies, 51% ladies ratio and 49% men. So when I surveyed that area, I noticed some curtains. There's a bed sheet. Their handmade some items are there. So they don't know how to sell that. So tourism is the main thing in Madagascar. So Europeans and Russians are used to come to visit that area. And so that time they're selling this the curtains, bed sheets, whatever it handmade utensils. So that time we planned something. So they don't have money to produce product is something. So we gather so many ladies, like 700 almost. First we started only 70 ladies. You start your work, whatever you have, the skill, you upgrade yourself. So they started that work, and the Europeans are very interested to buy that all. Now they're giving as advance payment to them, whereas it was like $50 they're paying, but now they are giving to them $1,000 per time. Whatever it, whenever it they have time, you made it, you keep it away. So Venel will come and will collect that. Every year they used to come to travel and that visit, because natural beaches are there in Madagascar, and herbal wise is too good. That one skill. And they some areas they don't have education. So we started like in India or Vayajana Vidya as a evening schools. So we started like evening schools. After 5 they are going to sleep, but we told them no. This is time for to learn something. Daytime you're already working. So we motivated that level. So now they are very interested to learn something. And last year we gave some machines like Usha company donated almost 250 umbrella machines. All they donated from India to Madagascar for seeing. So by handmade, it's a take time. So that is also one of the good motivation. And herbal, and they don't know the how to vanilla and all. They are working very hard, but they don't know how to smart work. And we agriculture wise is very good area, and they are working. They are not using any tractors for pockling, but they are manual pockling. So it will take time. But when we suggested to them, we gave this Mahindra tractors 80 to that local people. So they're saying no, we don't want to pollute our land, our weather, because this is God gift, this our land. So when you start tractor pocklaying, so it will be we lose environment diesel and all, and everything will be going lost, and our upcoming generation will be lose. This their mentality. So now it's become, we are changing, we are motivating local people. And these are the things, not only Madagascar, been 114 countries, everywhere, different experiences. It's not much, I don't want to take much time. And now I'm going to close this speech. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, entire MBITS team, and Dr. Sujay sir, special thanks to you. And thanks to every MBITS family. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Ruba. It was really a wonderful session from you. And again, thanks for Dr. Agula Ramakrishna from Canada for introducing you to us. And also, we are fortunate to have you, the Cabinet Minister, managing 11 portfolios in the Sofia region of Madagascar, which I think our audience may not be knowing about that. And being originally from India, we are really proud of you, madam. You have been over here. And you describe about the career opportunities for women engineers, opportunities for entrepreneurship, as well as the midlife challenges for employed women in a very simple and nice way. And also what you said is the present is ours. Enjoy every second. That's the real great thing. And also we know that your regular habits of yoga and meditation and all. So I think that that's the one which is keeping the energy among you. So, and again, as you said, 35 million people living in the fourth largest island in the world. So our regards to all the people who are living in the Madagascar, our best wishes and our prayers, and anything which you think that which you can support from our end, that we'll be glad to do that also. And again, the living conditions of the people you mentioned about, and also the repositioning the business you are trying to teach them. So again, that is really great. And then natural and herbal products. So that also maybe I hope that in shorter period of time, the world will be knowing about. And particularly you are personally mentioning us that the COVID situation, how you are managing with the local herbs and medicines and all, hopefully that will also be enlightening the world. And again, you mentioned about the literacy changing missions programs and all. I think in Kerala also we achieved 100% literacy. As I am from a village called Pothanicad, which has had the first village in the country for 100% literacy in 90s. And again, I hope that something which we can take on board. And again, Ernakulam, the district which we belongs to, is also 100% literacy. That's the first district in the country for declaring this. So these are all the examples which you can work out later on also. Really, thank you very much for being with us. And one of the senior most cabinet minister, once again, we're having 11 portfolios, spending a lot of time. Even before that, you came for the trials, discussions. We really love to the country of the people, the passion, love, and all. With all the affections and sincerity on behalf of the MBITS and our joint host, YMCA, and Accredited Online Canada, and our management and all the participants. Thank you, madam, for being with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Out to you for introducing our next keynote speaker, please.
Thank you, sir. The first keynote speaker of today's webinar is Dr. G.C. Kavita. She is popularly known as the Happiness Woman and the Executive Director of Center for Positive Learning and holds honorary position of National Coordinator for India Coven Action Network, Hyderabad, India. By profession, she is a counseling psychologist, psychotherapist, psychometric test professional, pedagogy expert from Cambridge University, most popularly known as the Happiness Woman. By passion, she is a motivational speaker, deeply interested in safeguarding and promoting the welfare of mental well-being of vulnerable stress-prone adults and teens. She is a spiritual seeker and avid book reader and believes that life becomes more beautiful when one experiences the divinity of fine arts and performing arts as a part of life. She emphasizes that one should learn at least one art form that can serve as a stress buster. She is a trained Carnatic singer with love for theater and abstract art. She believes to be a happy is one's exclusive birthright and nothing could stop a person from deriving happiness. With this context, she has been conducting free workshops and sessions by the name Happiness is Your Birthright for the past 11 plus years. She has touched 1.5 lakhs lives till now and intends to touch 1 million lives before she leaves this planet. She believes that this adds meaning and the purpose of her life. Name a few awards in her career. She has been recognized as Mania 2019 by NITIU and has been nominated for the prestigious Christopher Peterson Gold Medal, the highest award from the International Positive Psychology Association IPPA USA for the member who most exemplifies positive psychology at the personal, professional, and academic levels for the year 2015. Also been nominated for the prestigious Distinguished Contribution Award by American Psychologists Association for the year 2018 for the contribution towards improvement of the disabled society. She has received the Telangana Rashtra Sarva Bhaumna Award for the year 2018 for Women Empowerment Social Impact in Telangana by the Government of Telangana and received the India Achievers Award 2019 for the Best Educational and Counseling Psychologist 2019. We are extremely happy to have you today here. Welcome and over to you, ma'am.
So thank you so much, and it's such a wonderful morning to be in the midst of the chief guests like Rupa, Madam Rupa, and then Professor Sojanlal ji, and then Professor Jaykumar ji, and Dr. Venkat Garu, and then thank you, Susanna. That's been a very kind introduction, and though it was a bit long for sure. So today's talk, like, I mean, when we were thinking of like what should be spoken of, like it's been a long thought process that has been running considering the COVID situations and the post-COVID, because the workshop that is conducted is on the post-COVID situation, like how exactly, what are the changes that are going to be, and then how the things are going to come. So when I was pondering over like what I need to talk of, I felt that women leadership through the emotional intelligence is probably something that really makes a lot of sense. When this struck me, I thought, let me go ahead with that. I think before I probably start the session, let me, I think most of you can narrate my story, with yourselves. We wake up in the morning, and then, I mean, probably we know pretty well that, especially as a woman, we know pretty well that's a long list of, work roles to do, for 24 hours put up. So we start off, and then there is somebody at the door who's coming for something. We attend to them, then we go back, and then probably attend to the kitchen, and then probably there is a call from the office. By then it is 9 o'clock. There is a call from the office, so probably we go and attend the call, and they say that you have to sit down and then do it. If you have little kids, they come and they start bothering you because all of us are at home. So a woman as such is multitasking on many aspects. So eventually the emotional intelligence in a woman, definitely the studies have proven that the certain aspects of emotional intelligence in a woman is pretty good. So why do we really need to talk about emotional intelligence? This is my question to the audience. So if you can see that this is the status of a modern day woman, I think most of us can relate to. I know pretty well, the coffee cup in the hand and laptop on the other, and then, with a phone call, and then, something on to the other side, with kids on to one side, cooking on to one side. So what exactly is EQ, and then how do we really understand this? If you just go back, this was coined by John Mayer and Peter in the 1990s, and it was popularized by Daniel Goleman in 1995. So if we have to go back to think like why there has to be an EQ, why not just an IQ enough? Because we know pretty well that we've been talking about
Madam, maybe the slideshow will give you a better review. Slideshow, if we can do that.
Yeah. Is it okay, sir?
Slideshow, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it gives better.
Good. Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. So if we have to think of, mostly we've been focusing on the IQs since 20th century. The IQs. What are the IQs and the various tests that have come for IQ? So what exactly is the difference between an IQ and an EQ? An IQ indicates the ability to learn and understand new things. It could be the aptitude, it could be your reasoning ability, it could be your logic, it could be your analytics on it, and probably I don't need to say because I know I'm addressing most of the engineers here, and you're very, very well versed with what exactly is IQ. And the various skills that are associated with this particular IQ. So where is this IQ useful if we have to come back to that question? To get a job entry level, IQ is important for sure, because those who, if someone as freshers, I know most of the students who are sitting here, once they get into for a job, they feel that, they need to, eventually the panel would be asking about like, what are your skills? What are your abilities? What are your qualifications? And how well can you do that? And what is your scoring on your so-and-so? So what did you do? So it'd be a lot of questions on the aptitude. This has been the case some time back. Definitely IQ is important for an entry level. To get a job, to set up yourself, IQ is important. Now talking of what is this EQ, where is this EQ useful? If you really want to grow up in the career, because at a certain level, what you need is only the skills and the abilities, because you don't have much scope to exhibit or administer the leadership roles. You don't have much scope to exhibit, to be with the people, to maintain those relationships, to see like what you can become, how you can team lead them. So at a lower level, just an IQ would still suffice. So I see most of the students, I would like to talk here. I see most of the students talking of, I scored so many marks in my 12th grade, or I am so great in my engineering. That really doesn't make sense nowadays. Let me be very honest with you. So here it is to be a combination of IQ and EQ. So what exactly is EQ? What exactly is EQ? So let me cite a very small example here. You are just rushing for an important meeting, okay? You're driving your car. It happens to hit someone because that mistake was of the biker or whosoever it is. You just open the door because you already are you are definitely in a state of anxiety to just go and attend to the meeting and then see that it finishes. This comes in between. So there are 100% chances that you lose out your temper. And then your whole priority of that changes because you're sitting there, exhibiting your temper, exhibiting your frustration, exhibiting your irritation, no matter what are all the negative moods that are involved. You are very busy doing that. Then you suddenly realize that you hardly got 10 minutes to rush up for the meeting. Then you look back and then you feel, oh my God, what is happening to me? Just because of this fellow, my day is spoiled. This is the usual response. when we sit back and think, we have very comfortably, we put the blame. I was good, I was doing okay. Because of this guy, this particular guy, the whole day has been spoiled and my whole time has been spoiled and now I'm left hopeless. So there is a brainstorming question that I would like to ask the audience. I can just answer it an yes or no. Who is responsible here? Is it the thought of the person, or you can just put a thought or a situation? Is it the situation or is it the behavior of the person? So can we have some chat answers, please? You can just put your answers in the chat box. Was it the situation that has caused this issue, or was it the behavior of the person that has caused this issue? Can we have few chat? Let me take 2 or 3 and then I can go ahead with my talk. It's the behavior. It's the behavior. Okay, it's the behavior. It's the behavior of the person that has caused a lot. Behavior of the person that has caused a lot. Good. And what I can understand, thank you so much for the responses. What I can understand now, there is no need of my talk here. I think everybody knows what is EQ. And I really don't see my presence here. Anyways, on a lighter side. Eventually, it is the behavior. Because if there is a principle called 90-10 principle, 10% is caused by the situation. A biker coming and hitting your car, you're definitely not responsible for that. But the way you try to respond to that particular situation, you are responsible for that. The reason why today we are going to talk about EQ, the whole EQ is about what is 90-10, how do we respond, and then why do we respond, and why is EQ important, and then how is it really going to make us a better leader? Especially females. There are certain studies that states that, women have higher EQ than the men, especially in 2 aspects of EQ. One is the empathy factor and one is the social skills. And there is a research that has gone into it. Why empathy? Because if you all can remember, if you can relate yourself, the women out here, right from childhood, we are so much used to playing with dolls. We talk to the dolls, we parent the dolls, and then we have the freedom, to be more expressive, to be more emotional. We have the freedom to connect, and we have the freedom to create the meaningful relationships with our people. And if the same thing, if a guy does, definitely there are certain taboos at certain areas. I don't say all the areas for sure. A guy wouldn't want to express because that is not considered being a man. We already have this factor with us. This is being culturally imbibed into us right from what we have been in our childhood. So when we think about it, we feel that we have this empathy factors under relationships with people, with our society, with the family, because of women is known for multitasking skills. So the EQ is definitely, the certain aspects of social skills and empathy is definitely better developed in a female than a male, is what certain studies state. So going back to so the next question comes in here. What is important? Is EQ important or IQ important? Both are equally important, because without skills, there's just no point in just having an EQ. I know how to handle people. I know how to maintain relationships. I understand myself better. I know everything, but I really don't develop skills. I really don't develop attitudes, and I don't develop all these things. This is not going to really help out. So if you ask a question, which is important, EQ is important or IQ is important, eventually the answer is both are important. But to a certain level, both are required. But as you are growing up the graph, let us say from the managerial level, where you need to be in contact with people, where you need to talk to people, where you need to meet up with them, then you will know EQ plays a far predominant role than IQ. Because you are into that position because people have already decided that you possess those skills, you possess those abilities, without which you would not given a promotion further, or you are not given anything further. After that, what is more important is how well you are able to manage your people, and how well you are able to represent yourself with the people, how well you are able to behave with people, and how well you are able to understand yourself more. So this is exactly what both are so important at a certain level. And when you really want to grow high up in the graph, EQ plays an important role. Let us say, for example, you are a kind, again, it depends upon the value systems. There are certain people who feel that, let me be money is also considered a value system. Security is considered a value system. Let us say I'm a kind of a person who's so happy being secured in a government job. I want to sit in the government job and I don't bother, and whatever happens, I'm still fine with it because I'm pretty secure. That is your value system. But if you're a kind of a person who feels you need to be going out and doing so many things, and if you're pretty ambitious in life, and if you feel there are so many aspects to attend to, then you will realize that EQ plays definitely an important role. Now, going back to my next slide, if you really understand what are the various components of EQ, eventually any concept that needs to be understood should have certain components. Without these elements, then the concept doesn't stand. So first, it starts with self-awareness. What exactly is self-awareness? I'll go in detail in the further slides. So first, let us have a brief idea, one-liner idea on what exactly are the 5 elements when you have to consider the EQ quotient. The first one is the self-awareness, recognizing your own emotions, your strengths, your weaknesses, your value systems, your opportunities, knowing yourself better, or knowing you, who are you, that is called the self-awareness. Then it is called the self-regulation. Ability to manage one's behavior. The example what I gave just now. You're going in the car and you happen to crash with the biker, or the biker happens to come and crash with you, and how you're behaving and the way you're behaving and your priorities at that point of time, your emotional control and the way you're able to have an idea of what exactly it is, that is called the self-regulation. Then talking about these two, the self-awareness and self-regulation or intrapersonal skills, that is within you, you need to know about yourself. Now we talk about the empathy, the social skills, the interpersonal skills. As I told you, the intrapersonal skills, probably they help you at a foundation level. When it comes to a higher level, interpersonal skills, you need to know what exactly is empathy, what is motivation, and what is social skills. I know there is a problem with the other person. I understand that. I know the pain of the person. I know the happiness of the person. I can acknowledge the emotions of that person. So as a leader, it becomes so important to know the emotions, the feelings, the behavior of the other person. And that is possible when you know your own emotions. When you know your own emotions, that is definitely possible. So next is motivation. So there is a certain goal. It could be at family, it could be at home, it could be at office, it could be at work, it could be anywhere. Eventually, for you to move ahead in life, you need to have an intrinsic interest to move towards the goal. Without that motivation factor, you don't feel like moving. There's no point in doing something. Why am I sitting here? Why did I attend to this? To cite a small example, why did I attend? Because I have a spiritual goal of reaching at least 10 million people before I leave the planet Earth. And the life is not guaranteed. There's no guarantee that tomorrow I'm going to exist. So whatever opportunity comes my way, I make it a point to see that I take it and I totally exhibit it, and I see that I'm considering each and every opportunity that comes on my way. Next is the social skills. How well I'm able to maintain that relationships. Sir, I mean, did I do something here? This annotations, exactly, I haven't done anything, but is it something done by some host? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so social skills. Next is like, look, I come back again. First, I should know who I am. I should know how I behave. And next, I should know how I behave with others. I should first understand the feelings and emotions of others, and I should know how I behave with others, and I should be intrinsically motivated to just be on my goal. These exactly are the elements of EQ. Very simple, pretty simple. Each one of us, when we sit, we know we have been a part and parcel of it every second, every moment. Okay, now let me go back to how exactly we define, because this is actually a one-day workshop. 20 minutes is the time given to me. So I seriously have no clue, like how am I going to bulge in the whole thing into a small capsule and put it across, but I tried my best to the best of my knowledge. So this is what I want to confess before I continue. So how do I identify me? How do I understand me? I understand me through the skills I have, through the personality I have, through the value systems I have, through my interests. if you really consider who am I, who am I? Do I really know me? Do you really know you? You need to know what are your skills, what is your personality, what are the values, what are your values, what are your interests. These play a predominant role. I'm not going to small things because they're pretty easy to understand, easy to comprehend, in fact. So I'm not going into the detailed details. Here, I would like to talk something, definitely like to put up a thought, which I believe in, and I feel that is what is going to give a purpose and meaning to everybody's life. I know pretty well, there is definitely a certain percentage of people, irrespective of whether it is a man or a woman, who've been giving their time, their energy, their life, their age, the prime age, everything for certain things, certain obligatory things all their lives, that they fail to forget that they have to live for themselves. That they fail to forget that they have to live for themselves. Probably at the age of 45, 50, it becomes too late for a person to realize that, yes, I do have a life. I do have a life. Okay, there are many beautiful quotes that come up front and say that there is no time to do anything good what you want to do. Let's forget that, because I think if we are thinking about it, then we have a tendency to take it to take that age further, even further. So what I feel is like, right from day one, right from what you are as students to what you are, try to understand what exactly are your values and what you want to do in life. Because most of the cases, if you really look into the self-awareness, we are so much busy building up a personality that we forget to build our skills. What is personality? I want to be a very good wife. I want to be a very good mother. I want to be a very good daughter-in-law. I want to be a very good person. In the process, what about my skills and what about my abilities? Am I doing something to really develop them? I fail to forget that. In the process of developing skills, people forget their personality. They don't take care of themselves. They don't bother about themselves. In the process of getting into interest, they fail to develop their personalities and values. There are some people like who really don't bother about, they just want to do something because that is their point of interest. They don't care. They don't care what happens to their immediate family. So if any of these things is not balanced, you again, have a feeling of regret as you move further. So please understand, as person, please take a notebook and keep writing today, right now, after the session probably. You write what are your skills, what is your personality as such, what are your values you believe in, what are your interests. First, it's important today, right now, to know who you are, without which EQ cannot be developed. Because if you cannot know who you are, you can never know who others are. My next slide goes on. This is the Aristotle quote. Anyone can become angry. That's easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, is it easy? This is my question. Is it really easy? I'm angry now. I'm really hurt for some reason. So do I need to fold my hands and think that, oh, he's the right person I'm to be angry with? Let us take the same car example. So this biker has come and hit me. So he's the right person. So what is the right degree of anger I need to exhibit now? Is it the right time? And what is the purpose I need to adopt? When a person is emotional, when a person is angry, can he really spend time to think about all these things? This is totally an impossible task. So the way we look at it is, one needs to know how do we really behave ourselves in the times of adversity. How do we really behave ourselves in times when things are really bad? I cite my very own example. I run a very small company for TCS. We create content for various recruitment exams, public sector and private sector exams. It so happened that I often like to quote this example because I really feel that behavior of mine was pretty good, and though I was not conscious about it at that point of time, but later I realized that probably that is the behavior I need to adopt in the rest of my life. So whenever the content is created, and I need not tell you, it shouldn't be plagiarized content. It should not be plagiarized. It has to be original content that needs to be submitted. It was at a very small 5th class level for a clerical post in some high court. And then the mental ability questions were to be created at grade 5 level. I have given it to my subject matter experts and they have created it and then they have sent it to me. There were around 3,000 questions to be made. And then once that was done, I had a flight to leave for US the next morning. So I'm receiving questions today at 9 o'clock. Then I send these questions without putting them into my software. Usually I check and I do it. Without putting them into the software, I send it to them. I get a call from my project manager. She says that, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this happened from you. And then definitely plagiarism is considered to be a crime. So how did you do this? And how can it happen? And then why do you do this? And how dare you do that? And what happened to the trust and relationship we had with each other? And blah, 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 blah. So many aspects. I know we can understand how we can relate to most of us. I had to just stop her and then say, look, this is a problem. I truly apologize. Probably me in your position would definitely be angry. Me in your position also understand the pain of, not getting an appropriate content, but this is a problem. It's a human error. It was not intentional. Nobody wants to become bad. I have only two solutions for you. One, you start shouting at me. I defend back. With this, we don't find a solution, but both our egos are very happy. They are satisfied. Solution two, stop shouting at me. Let us just tell me how much realistic time you have with you. Tell me, and I'll see that I'll get all the questions redone again. This was my second option. She said, how can I trust you? I said, do you have an option? If you have an option, please check out. If you don't have an option, you have to trust me. You don't have any other thing. Then she said, okay, I have so many days time. Then we got it done. And then she forgot about it, the way she shouted and then the way she said. But what I realized at that point of time, the way we behave when there is a critical situation, and I was trying to understand her. If you can really look into the whole situation, I was empathetic there. I was trying to understand her emotion. I was trying to understand her pain. And I was self-regulating myself with a behavior that is more worthy, because finally there is a problem. She needs a solution because she doesn't have any personal relationship with me. There is a solution that she needs for a problem. I know pretty well a solution has to be given. Solution has to be given. So this is exactly happened. So myself regulated myself. I was empathetic on her. And then my social skills were better at that point of time. And I knew I could get the work done. That was a self-awareness like what I had with me. So if you see that all the four attributes or 5, and I had a motivation to complete that project because I cannot get a bad name. I have to safeguard my name. So I need to go ahead in life. So looking at all the 5 elements, we tend to exhibit it without much of conscious effort. So this is exactly what is called the self-regulation. Now talking about what is empathy, I need not tell you. This is the 7 habits of highly effective people. If you look at the 5th habit, seek first to understand rather than to be understood. All the time we are only defending ourselves. We say, no, this is right. I am right. I do this. I do this. I blah, 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 blah. Considering the self-centric point of ourselves, we don't. So first seek to understand rather than to be understood. And this is one of my favorite quotes put up at 7-Eleven gas station in US. Don't give up. You're not alone. You matter. There is an empathetic factor. There is a feeling of emotion that I'm trying to extend it to my environment, the people who pass by, the people who are coming in. So empathy is that, trying to understand others, trying to understand others' emotions, trying to know what they are and trying to see like what best you can do to really feel the pain or happiness of what it is called the empathy. Now, talking about the last one, social skills, motivation. So I did not talk much about motivation. If there is a goal, we need to have a purpose. We need to have a goal. We need to keep moving in life. That is important. Without a motivation, I'm telling you, I know many cases in my life. I've seen them, on their deathbeds, they used to regret so badly that, I didn't do anything purposeful in my life. I could have studied, or I could have done something. Probably my life would have been so better, or my life would have been so different. And let us not get into that. That is my, because I've seen the pain of a person who's dying, and then I've seen the regret of a person who will not be living anymore. So, looking at this, so let us keep ourselves motivated towards a goal. Let us see ourselves, let us point out ourselves to see what best version of ourselves can we become at some point of time. Next is like social skills, like managing relationships and building a rapport. So, how exactly do we do this, and how is it possible? You need to first, as we said the previous slide, first we need to understand rather than need to be understood. First we need to understand rather than the need to be understood. So here, the rapport, building skills. What are the various skills that is important for social skills? First is active listening. Active listening. Let us first, because most of the cases in any situation, family relationships, I see that people don't really bother to listen. They only want to talk. They don't want to listen. First is the active listening, because active listening would give a person a better opportunity to know what the real situation is. Because most of the times, the situations are genuine, very genuine. We need to know that. And next is a very good conversation or communication skills. Whatever is the expression you have in you, you need to put up in a very positive way. Rather than saying you are useless, you can say you can do better. Rather than saying you have failed, you can say that I didn't expect this. Wow, next time let us try. Probably something has gone wrong. When you say you are a failure, you are useless, you are hopeless, let me tell you, you are stopping the other person from growing. You're not giving him an opportunity to grow. I think it becomes the social responsibility of each and every person to see that, to ensure that we give equal opportunities for people to grow. Rather than saying that the same version, probably you can change the verbatim of it and then probably put it that, no, you could have done better. Oh, this is wonderful. Oh, you tried your best. Good. I think there is a better next time. So by saying so, you are actually emotionally training a person, telling him that you still believe him, you still trust the person, you still feel that the person is worth all the good things in life, but because of something, the person couldn't move ahead. So this is exactly what is social skills. I would not go much into this, but I'll just give you how do you really develop these self-awareness and self-management. This is again a self-explanatory slide. First, know your story. Let us say if somebody is coming and telling their story, please try to repeat back. Most of us have the common stories, very common stories. And let me also mention a point here. The life is made up of many small things. Big things are very, very small in number. Many small things, many small things. Unfortunately, we overlook the small things. We ignore the small things. We suppress the small things. We try to withdraw from the small things because we have all these attributes, all these behavioral aspects. We fail to see that life is made up of so many beautiful things and we need to appreciate that. A child getting all the letters, to cite a very small example, people generally mention this. Let us say that the child has scored 90, 90, 90 and one subject 35. No, the whole focus is on that 35, including the teacher. The teacher puts a red mark, underlines this, makes it so conspicuous. I mean, can't our parents see that? The 35 is very much visible. Why the teacher has to do that? Because we are so much used to pointing out things that is not positive, but we don't really appreciate the things that are so big. And the teacher doesn't put a 90, a big star, a balloon, and beautiful things to do after this 90s. But for 35, definitely there is a round, there is an underline, there is a thing, there is this. The whole focus is on that. So let us try to understand. Let us make as a social responsibility. Let us make people more confident. Let us make people worth their lives, and let us give the people their sense of worth, the self-efficacy, the sense of worth, self-efficacy, and worth to live. So I think it's a responsibility to do that. Definitely. So I think this slide I'm not going through so seriously, but definitely I can tell you self-awareness. When a person is coming to you, first try to get back to understand what exactly when you had this problem. The same is the emotion. These other human beings, these not come from some other planet. Let us not forget that the emotions are the same, irrespective of the culture, tradition, religion, background, caste, creed. Everything is the same. Emotions are the same. Probably the way you exhibit differs. The way you present it differs. Otherwise, we are all the same. We are all the same at the foundation level. Let us not forget that. So make peace with your past. I know many people who have a habit of cribbing all the time, sitting back and cribbing. Oh, once upon a time, they have hurt me badly and I was become like this. Don't crib on your past. Heal with your past and say, that's okay. It's happened. I learned something. And please do understand if there is a problem in your life, please do understand either you are learning something or you had developed a memory there. Let us not forget that. So everything has to be. So I'll go to the next slide. So this is one of the things.
Dr. Kavita, I think we are running short of time. Huh?
Yes, I have come to the last slide, sir. I knew that. Looking at your face, I could understand that. So how do we really make the emotions into a habit? Most of us really do not know we have a problem. We are at an unconsciously unskilled level. We do not know we have a problem. Please sit down. As I told you, write down all the attributes, self-awareness. When you are self-aware, you will know consciously or unconsciously you have a problem, but still you have not developed a skill for it. Okay. After that, you try. Probably on 10 times, 3 times you are angry. Okay. and 2 times you're okay, you're able to manage. So you will reach a stage of consciously skilled. You're conscious of it and you're started learning, making attempts. When you try this again and again and again and again and again, you are reaching at a stage called the neuroplasticity in the neuroscience terminology, wherein you are firing and wiring. What is firing and wiring? When two neurons, when a new behavior or thought process is coming in, they keep joining, they keep firing, they keep wiring. When this happens, then you are at an unconsciously skilled stage. You need not put hard. When somebody comes and shouts at you, you know, chalta hai baba, no problem, that's okay. That's okay. This is exactly what happens. So it's important that you both develop a habit by going through all these 4 phases. And then this is my last slide. The decision is all yours. So you want to be an emotional leader or an emotional intelligent leader. The choice is all yours. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Probably down the time, if there are any questions, I'll be ready to take. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. G.C. Kavita. That was really a wonderful and amazing presentation from you. You started with the emotional intelligence, then
Yes,
emotional quotient, EQ, all these things, and also you explained a lot about the 5 elements of EQ, and also 4 domains of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. And again, the ladder which you mentioned about how the people are starting or wherever they are, unconsciously unskilled and making them to unconsciously skilled. That's again really a very wonderful thought and all. So I'm sure that there is a long way people have to practice this. And as you rightly said, that this is a topic which needs at least 1 day exercise, workshop, practical things. We understood that the depth of the subject. So within this shortest period of time, you could deliver a lot to the audience, as well as this recorded video will stay there. And again, later on also we'll come back to you what's the best we can do about on this subject. And on behalf of all the audience and participants, panel members, our MBITS, we are extremely grateful for you over here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much,
sir. Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you.
question and answers we'll take after all the
Sure,
presentations are. Over
Yes,
to
sir.
you, Susanna, for introducing the next speaker, please.
Thank you, sir. The next keynote speaker of today's webinar is Dr. Savita Narasimha, MD. She is a clinical microbiologist working as quality head at RL Jalapa Hospital, Sri Devaraja URS Medical College, Kolar, Karnataka. Empaneled NQAS and NABH Assessor for Public Health Facilities, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, and Quality Council of India. With over 20 years of experience, she has been involved in developing the quality in patient care and safety in hospitals. She has been trained in Singapore for international accreditations. She has visited many hospitals in various states in connection with quality assessment of hospitals. She holds an MBBS degree and MD in microbiology and has over 12 years of teaching and research experience, especially in quality aspects of hospitals. She has been regularly conducting trainings on NABH standards and infection control practices to consultants, interns, and PGs and nurses of all departments. She also has organized hands-on workshops for healthcare workers for infection control practices in the hospital. She is a well-known consultant for hospitals, expertise in gap analysis and hand-holding for NABH accreditations and certification program by helping them implement the standards. Laboratory experiences include hands-on experience in bacteriology, mycology, and parasitology, culture and sensitivity, Bactalert for aerobic bacterial blood culture, chemiluminance for HIV, HPS-AG, ELISA for leptospira, dengue, immunochromatography, serology, and PCR. It's an honor to have you here today, ma'am. We are eagerly waiting for your talk on safety and security of women at workplace. Welcome and over to you.
Thank you, Susanna. Thank you, Dr. Sojan. Thank you, Dr. Jaykumar, for giving me this opportunity. This is really a pleasure to speak in your platform on the workplace safety and security for women. As a woman, I represent the women here, and not as a doctor or not as outsider of this platform. So when I was going through the various articles on what are the ways we could safeguard and give security to women, to my astonishment, I found such wonderful articles, and I saw how women have been representing and have been writing on the way they've been treated at the workplace. And this relates to most of us. Most of us work at different places, and we all encounter men. And let us all thank all those wonderful men who've been nice to us, who've been very gentle to us, and who've been such gentlemen in our lives, who have encouraged us and over time given us the space and what we are today to take us to what we are today. So with that note, I would like to start instead of the whole of my slides will be like looking at the negative sides of men, but that is not true always. So there are many men who've been encouraging us and taking us forward. But at the same time, when you look at the way people have been putting up their issues on the public platforms, this is a matter of concern which all women and men need to address and need to be serious about and think again. So women in India constitute 48.1%. That's about 50% of the population. Women's participation in the workforce is about 28%. So this is very less, very, very low when compared to many countries in the world. So at 28%, India has one of the lowest female labor force participation rates in the world. And we all have to think why. Because security and safety at workplace, as well as experiences of harassment, this weighs more than the decision to seek or drop off employment. So it's always seen that women are not given equal opportunities in education. They are often the primary caregivers for children and elderly at home. They have far less mobility than men. They can't move out like men whenever they want, and they have serious issues of safety in public places. They are scared of sexual harassment. So these are women at work. When the National Commission for Women in 2017 reported, they said every 2 women are harassed daily at workplace. So this is not something which is acceptable by anybody. So this is something we all have to look into. So when you see women at work, women have the right to be free from violence, harassment, and discrimination, definitely. So removing the barriers of an unsafe environment can help women fulfill their potential as individuals and as contributors to work, communities, and economy. So when we see the female workers and the high level of harassment and violence, the violence can be different. See, always sexual harassment is not the only way of being harassed. So women may be harassed economically, emotionally, physically, and of course sexually, which deprives women of their basic human rights. And in addition, an increasing amount of evidence shows that the well-being of workers suffer. The businesses suffer, the economy suffer, and violence against women actually is very bad for business. And there is a very high cost involved in violence with women, which many of us don't know. So the Economic Survey 2017-18 indicated that the proportion of women who work actually steadily reduced over time. We think that many women are coming out to work, but actually when you see the data in 2015,
your presentations are not visible for us. Can you share it from your end? We are seeing your desktop.
Okay.
Yeah, the slideshow, maybe a slideshow you can switch on, madam.
Yeah, double click and go to show.
Now, sir?
No.
Sojan, you can take over.
Yeah.
I should.
You want us to take over?
Just a minute. I'll just try once more.
We are ready in case if you want.
Is it visible now?
No.
No. Okay, fine.
Shall we take over?
Yes, sir, sure.
So please unshare. Okay. Yeah, we are ready.
Excuse me.
Okay, go ahead. Please.
Yes.
Next slide.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's good. Go ahead, please.
Next slide. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next slide, sir. This is quite comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Next slide, sir. Next slide. Sir. Yeah. So what we saw in the economic survey in 2017-18 is the number of people coming to work has been reducing. About 33.3% of women stopped working over time. So the main reason they said was the gender gap. This was a very significant factor for why women were stopping to work. And this survey report also said, all of you please note this, women workers often constitute the most vulnerable of the workforce as they are employed in the least secure, informal, unskilled jobs, engaged in low productivity and low paying work. So when they looked at the women who were being employed, they saw that most of the women were very insecure, they were low paid and they were not treated well. So why will the women come to work? So they will slowly start avoiding and they will slowly stop working. When we look at the other countries, we are very worst. They say we are performing worst when compared to Brazil, Mexico, and Indonesia. So this is also collaborated by other international agencies like International Labour Organization and World Bank have also authorized this. And this is a serious concern to all of us. The next slide. So it's been a century. We've been calling March 8th as the International Women's Day. The next slide. Yeah. So we've been celebrating this Women's Day and we've been celebrating the achievements of women and promoting gender equality worldwide. But we should also see, we should also acknowledge how much is to be done, how much, where are we standing and what else has to be done in the future. The next slide, please. Yeah, so we all witnessed this Me Too movement. So this Me Too movement in 2017, 18 exploded, first in the United States and then in India. So most of us think we are safe, but then this Me Too movement told us how women were so insecure and they had so many things to tell off, and they were so insecure to even let it out. So most of them were anonymous. So this also led to the resignations or firing of dozens of prominent men, mostly politicians, actors, and journalists. So just imagine the state of women at a lower profile or at a lower level. So it also prompted a range of public and private organizations to examine themselves. So they looked at their institutional cultures internally, looking at the sexual harassment, gender parity, gender equality, and this movement actually led to the organizations to rethink about their own selves. So this Me Too movement actually was an eye opener for all women and men. Yes. So when we looked at the main priorities of women in the past few years, it is the sexual harassment at workplace, and also there were a lot of obstacles to women's participation at all levels of the workforce. So we need to actually look at this aspects of sexual harassment and other kinds of harassment at workplace, and we really have to see where where we stand and how do we go forward. So when I was looking at the solutions, so I found a few very good articles which were giving very good solutions to take up. So what happens with women? So especially when you have unsupportive men colleagues in the office, and you develop an isolated feeling, and this leads to boredom and stress, and gradually losing her efficiency and confidence, and she will not be able to achieve anything, and she slowly leaves the job. So the lack of family support as well, so this adds to this family issues, leads to stress and conflict for a female worker who are trying to balance both job and family. So this leads to a lot of personal life differences as well. So this sexual harassment, we all know that it is far more prevalent, more than most of us admit or realize. So this sexual harassment mostly is snubbed or shunned, or they're not allowed to be exposed, or even many women think that that's not of much use, and or they may be scared of losing the job, and a lot of things. So usually when you look at this sexual harassment at the workplace, it's usually by a superior officer, or either by other men who are dominating at workplace. So who lack the sensitization, and they generally have a mindset of thinking that working woman expects and deserves such demeaning treatment. They think that women deserve to be at home, not at workplace, and they taunt and they make a lot of remarks and hurt the women's feeling. And generally these women, they tend to think that better staying at home would be a far better option than working. So this can start with, they could whistle, or they could come closer, and they could begin a sexist conversation, or they could do a physical or verbal conduct. So this, what they do, the woman also must be aware about it, and men also must be aware about, what they should do and what they should not do at workplace. The next slide, please. Yes. So this sexual harassment at workplace, of course, is one of the widespread problems that women face, as I see in the literature. So it is an unwelcome sexual behavior, be it verbal or physical, and has a profound impact on women. So this ranges from an offensive comment showing obscene pictures or videos, threats to sexual assault, to unwanted sexual favor. Apart from this, any other unnecessary verbal activities or gestures like remarks about appearance, gender-based insulting comments, whistling, and cracking adult jokes come under sexual harassment. So we generally, as women, when we go to workplaces, we must know what is admitted, or what can be permitted, and what is not. And including the men also equally must know what and how they need to behave with women. So what happens when a woman is silent for a long time? This eventually leads to molestation and rape. So studies have shown that in most of the multinational companies, the ratio between male and female employees is quite uneven. So women are highly discriminated, and men always get an upper edge compared to women during recruitment. Main reasons, when you look at it, why companies recruit men mostly, is because they think women are emotional. They think women are physically and mentally weak. They think they can't give sufficient time. And they think that if suppose they get pregnant, then you'll have to give them a maternity leave, and there'll be a lot of other leaves which they will be claiming. So all this, when they look at all this, they always prefer to have male candidates than women candidates. Another thing about women at workplace is the poor security. Especially if women work in the night shift, they fall victim of several crimes due to inadequate security arrangement by the higher management. The incidence of a driver or another male employee assaulting a woman worker in office transport has been reported every second day. And due to lack of proper security arrangements by the company, women, especially working in the night shift, have become victims of rapes and sexual abuses, which we have all seen on television and on social network. So this is another thing most of the women think about before, continuing a job or to take up a job. Absence of role models at workplace. This, I think, all of us women will have to look upon and concentrate on. See, when we have to work with in businesses or in any place, when there are challenges and when there are tricks and traits to be understood, women generally lean upon the men because their senior counterparts hardly be with them. So when the senior women are with them and when they handhold them, generally the male dominated society, the women employees often don't find a female role model. So they have to seek help from male colleagues for guidance. And this is because of the lack of mentorship from the senior women. So this has to be actually worked upon amongst women. There are plenty of issues with pregnancy, childbirth, and certain issues with women, which are very temporary. So these will be associated also with maternity leave. So after a certain period of time, if a lady doesn't get enough maternity leave, she has to unsatisfactorily come back to work, and and the conditions at the workplace are also bad. So they are not paid equally. So this not only hampers the performance of the lady at office, but it also takes a toll in her personal life. When they looked at women and being paid in general, not only in the IT sector, also in various other fields like factories, plantations, hospitals, everywhere, they see that generally women are paid less because of the management has a preset notion that she may leave the job after having children or marriage. And it's actually a silent crime and no one can complain about it. So there is one article which says, India, the story of how women are subjected to violence in Indian factories. So this was a project submitted by HER Respect. So this is an organization that works on gender equality in the world. And in December 2018, when they released this article, they said women themselves were accepting, there was general acceptance of harassment and violence against women in the workplace. And they had the perception that violence as the most acceptable, accessible, and effective way to achieve production targets. So the men also thought that by harassing women, you can reach the targets, and women also accepted it. So this is something which we all must think about, and we should change the mindset of women. So despite plenty of guidelines put up, like the Vishaka guidelines, and we also have the Prevention of Sexual Harassment and Redressal Act, which has come since 2013, where the working class women have been fighting for redressal and justice when it comes to sexual harassment at workplace. Still, there are areas of workplaces which are diverse, invisible, and it may also be associated with certain class, caste, and gender prejudices which do not allow the law to penetrate. There are many places, many offices which where you have the women suffering and struggling amidst a lot of harassment. So it becomes all our responsibility to look into our neighbors or our colleagues, and we will have to figure out if there is harassment. I will touch upon this in further slides, but we all must actually look into and help each other. So the only answer to this now, what is the solution for this kind of harassment at workplace is the zero tolerance to harassment by all of us, whether it is women or men. So to have a zero tolerance to harassment, we need to have certain things in place. Once an organization has been opened, it is mandatory now after 2013 Sexual Harassment Prevention Act. It is mandatory for any organization to have certain committees, certain, rules and regulations to be followed at workplace. I'll come to it. So grievance or complaints committee. So every organization, however small it is, well, of course, if it is less than 10 employees, many of the organizations don't have these committees. For that, we have the district level committees. I'll come to it. But any organization must have a grievance or complaints committee within its organization, because this helps the women to internally complain and get a resolution, a faster, answer to her issue, instead of going to a police station and reporting in a police station. And this many women may not prefer. So even if there is absence of a HR department in an organization, there should be a strict sexual harassment policy. So this policy should be circulated among all employees regularly. So if any organization, if they have a sexual harassment prevention policy, it has to be written down in black and white. And not only that, it has to be passed on to all employees and regularly. Now, please think over how many of your organizations have a policy in place. And even if they have a policy in place, how many of you know about it? And if you know about it, how regularly has it been circulated in your organization? So we all have to look upon this matter. So if not the HR, then managers or the founders can send this to their team at regular intervals, like once in a month, or so that it is not forgotten. So it's very important for us to keep circulating the policies of the organization. And we have to keep telling our men how we have to be, how the women have to be treated, and we have to tell our women that how they need to be treated. The committee will listen. Yeah. So this internal committee will actually have a panel. So if suppose a lady has a complaint to be registered in the internal committee of the organization, the panel will consist mainly of women of senior position. So complaint and redressal mechanism must be established to ensure that every complaint should be received and acknowledged. So whatever complaint a lady goes to and gives in a internal complaints committee has to be acknowledged. She has to be given a receipt or an acknowledgement saying that this complaint has been received. And the panel must also make it very clear that every incident and its details will be properly documented for future reference. So these documentations will also be registered under respective employee records, and proper actions also will be taken if such, so that such incidents don't repeat. So this internal complaints committee should be very strong and empowered. So if they have autonomous powers, so they will not, they will not yield to the management's pressure if the person who's being complained belongs to the management. So this team actually makes the workplace harassment policies and also gives a reminder. So this Sexual Harassment Act, Women at Workplace Act 2013, actually brought in a lot of changes in a lot of organizations. So they also said that sexual harassment is not the only, it should be referred to as any physical contact or any sexual advances which demand sexual favors or sexually, made remarks or showing pornography or any unwelcome physical, verbal or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. So they defined the sexual harassment, and now women are quite aware about where to be careful and how to be careful and how to report these sexual harassment and at the workplace. So these committees are mandatory at all organizations. If at all an organization doesn't have a sexual harassment prevention committee or an internal committee, you all must know that every district will have a district level establishments committee. So it will have its own committee where the person can go and the lady can go and complain at the district level, and this will further be advanced to the Women and Child Welfare Department. So this district level committee has again obligation of reporting annually. So the committee must prepare an annual report for each calendar year, setting up the prescribed details, and the report must be submitted one to the employer and also to the local district officer. If there is no district officer appointed, the committee reports are being sent to the Department of Women and Child Department of each state. So the legislation imposes the penalty of a fine, and in cases of repeated offense, employers may also have their business licenses or registrations cancelled. So all women must know about this. So they must have an internal committee. If they don't have, they can always approach the district level or the Ministry of Women and Child Development. So what is important for an organization is to create awareness or education campaigns among their workers. Now, creating awareness about safety is very crucial at workplace. They should conduct sessions in a great way to spread awareness. So it's not that you just conduct some, Naam Ke Vaste program and you take signatures and you finish it. No. Organization can educate people in other ways. You can always use different methods of educating them, like you can have role plays or skits. And for women, this would make them realize if anything they've been experiencing is objectionable. So many times they will be experiencing it, but they will not know that it's something not allowed or not permitted, and this could they could also complain to the committee on this. So this kind of training programs will allow them to let them know what they are going through, and this would also help them in future. If fortunately they hadn't had any experienced sexual harassment in any way, they would be equipped and prepared with the knowledge to handle any improper behavior in the future. So every organization should have training programs on awareness on this kind of behaviors or attitudes in the workplace. Now, how many of our organizations have regular trainings, and how many of the women are being trained regularly? Now, let's think about it also. So men and women. Now, it is very important that, so whenever there are women-oriented programs or women cell programs, you'll see that only women are called or invited. So it should not happen. Men and women both need to learn what's acceptable behavior and what isn't. So for men, this teaches them right from wrong. So if a certain thing or behavior classifies as inappropriate, it would hopefully deter them from doing so. So they will understand. So many times, some of the men wouldn't know that that is not acceptable and that is not permitted. So once they are trained, they would understand and they would step back and learn how to behave. So by making policies and by plays and speeches, you can create a lot of awareness among women who are coming to the workplace. You can have interactive discussions which would have a greater influence on people. And once they feel involved in the trainings, there's a chance for them to ask questions, clear doubts, and watch others getting involved. This makes people bolder and they feel that they are a part of this program. And the discussion of different types of workplace harassment explains different examples will explain it better, and this makes them ready to any kind of prevention measures. So more of creative awareness programs in the organization are always empowers women.
Dr. Savita, you may also see the timings, please.
Yeah. So you need to have a safe, friendly, and conducive workplace. So employees should try to give suitable work situation to women. So you can just take the slides forward also. So workplace and beyond. Now, if suppose a workplace doesn't have women employees, now is it not important for you to have a committee? Yes, it is important, because there may be women coming into your organization from another organization. So they cannot be sexually harassed in your organization where you claim that there are no women. No. So you must have a committee of your own, in spite of not having women in your organization. So the security, you must actually provide safe cab facilities for people who are working on late hours. And empowering women, like gender responsive HR departments. HR departments must be trained so that they give flexible working arrangements, equal wages, and targets for recruiting women at all levels. So if women are working, we must encourage them by giving hostels and creche for children. And women must be equipped. You encourage to come into the technology field, and also push the private sectors into encouraging women. So there are many companies in US who have already started looking at achieving targets to increase female representation at all levels in their workforce. So you will see that women are being represented only at smaller levels, and the higher levels are usually taken up only by men. So this is being broken in some of the multinational companies. Self-defense training to women becomes very, very important at workplaces. So they understand and they get a mindset of, how to defend themselves. And once they get the mindset of how to defend themselves, they feel more confident and more joyful in working at the workplace. Next slide. And you should have display boards like this in all departments and all areas where women work, where you educate your women and the men, saying that stop this harassment, and you give the contact details of the person to whom the woman should contact on these boards, so that it's easy, so that the ladies has an easy access to the people to be contacted, and even men understand that they cannot take women for granted. So to build up an entrepreneurial spirit among women, so this adds to the GDP and adds to the economy of the country. And other benefits, you can look at giving monthly day offs and allowing employees to stay off at home if suppose they cannot travel, especially during menstrual days or early pregnancy days. Give them, some concession of staying at home and working from home. And next slide, sir. So imbibing some core values in children, especially with their grandparents, parents. So you have more programs, especially in schools, where you improve or inculcate some right moral and social values in children in schools and colleges. So all this will help, all of us to understand women and to respect them. So we all need to have this workplace culture. Why should we have it? What is it? Why it matters and how to define it? It attracts talent. It drives engagement and retention. It impacts happiness and satisfaction, and it affects performance. And the whole organization is happy. And once your organization is happy, it is doing extremely well as far as economy is concerned. So good luck to all of you, and thank you very much.
Dr. Savita, it was really a wonderful experience for all of us. And again, I'm sure that your talk has opened many questions. As I can see, we can see that chat box is started with lots of questions, and I'm sure that after the next presenter, we may take all those questions also. And what is permitted and what is not permitted was you initially started with one example is Me Too movement, which was happened in 2017-18. And the solutions for workplace, you also clearly mentioned, where you have unsupportive people at work and particularly at home. So these are some of the areas where, and I'm sure that at least 25% men are also here in this group. And also the policies and implementation committees, awareness session, which are all mentioned about this. And also you mentioned about the while returning back, and when there is no company buses are provided for the night shift and all, you mentioned about that. And the model which you said about the lack of female role model, you said maybe that may be applicable, just a small observation from my side, that maybe people does not have a role model in their own organization. They can take the role model like Indira Nui or Mrs. Gandhi or the 10 or 15 famous women entrepreneurs, either in India or the national, based on the structure and all. And not only that, even along with us, particularly you're all senior people. And maybe I can point out that Dr. Ruma from Madagascar, one of the cabinet minister is here. And again, on the previous day, Dr. Kirti Srivastava, Professor Reshmi Badwaj, they're all explained how they survived 20 years, 30 years back, the difficulties and all. So the situation has improved a lot, and things will be improved. I'm sure that your exceptional experience in accreditation visit, I'm sure that was extremely useful. And particularly we noticed from the chat box that many organizations doesn't even have many statutory requirements. I'm sure that that's another eye-opener for many of the people. Once again, on behalf of the all audience, thank you very much, and over to Susanna for introducing the next speaker. She's a b.tech student, very exciting. So we wanted in our forthcoming webinars, even the students will get a chance to this. We are excitedly waiting for the next presentation. Over to Susanna.
Thank you, sir. Today's paper presentation is by Ms. Shashantika S. She is a BE student doing her third year in biomedical engineering at Rajalakshmi Engineering College, Chennai. She is here to present a paper on the topic Career Opportunities for Women in Tech, emphasizing on the Hamilton Project. Welcome to the webinar, and over to you, Ms. Shashantika.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So I'll start to share my screen right now. Just a minute. So a very good morning to all. My name is Shashantika. I'm currently pursuing my third year in biomedical engineering, as said, in Rajalakshmi Engineering College. And I'm really very thankful for the organization MBITS, YMCA, created by the Canada, for giving me this immense opportunity to perform today. And today I'll be talking about the career opportunities for women in tech, and I'll be more emphasizing on the Hamilton Project. So the main objective for today will be the life of women, the moment of career progress and the moment of togetherness, and what will be the future of women post-COVID-19, and how are women treated in the world and around the global, lowering the barriers faced by women entrepreneurs at home and internationally, and the Hamilton Project, which was presented by the Brookings Institute in the United States, and the RTW programs, the Return to Work programs. And these are the set of papers that I use as reference for your information. And what will be the life of women in next 3 decades? Only when if we tear down the barriers. Here's what an expert say from the World Economic Forum. Around 40% of the global workforce is female, and it was 38% 4 years earlier. So research by human resource consulting firm in Mercedes indicates that it will be increased by just 3% in the next 10 years. And the next slide we can see, this is the image which depicts how many hours of women are doing the unpaid work. In US, it's about 1.5 hours or more, and in Peru, it's about 3.5 hours. In Egypt, it's about 4.8 hours, and in Norway, it's about 0.7 hours. So women are already juggling and are carrying a lot of weights, like imbalance between men and women, which are the gender roles, and lack of opposition between work and other life roles, and lack of safety and transportation, and lack of affordable care. And to have a good view about this, and actually there will be a lot of career opportunities for women after COVID-19, because the good news is that WFH, which is the work from home opportunities, have been increased the past 3 to 4 months, and where the biases and attitudes have already been shattered. Tech giants like Google and we have already extended that WFH policy to the end of 2020, and while Twitter has said that its employees can work from home forever. And these are the most important HER tips that I would like to give. And H, which stands for help. Please don't hesitate to help and ask for help. And E, which is energy and energize. Be positive and please spread positivity. And R is resilience. We should not stay in this closed bubble. We should always pick ourselves up and bounce back to where we were doing. And to increase the job opportunities for women, we have to definitely level the playing field between men and women. So the organizations and the policy makers should step up interventions and boost hiring, promotion and retention of women, more access to mobile and internet, and increasing the skills in STEM, which is a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So about the Hamilton Project, it was launched in 2006 as an economic policy initiative at the Brookings Institute. The project provides a platform for a broad range of leading economic thinkers to inject innovative and pragmatic policy options. And this project, why is it named as the Hamilton Project? It was named because the project is named after Alexander Hamilton, the nation's first Treasury Secretary, and he says the prudent aids and encouragement on the part of government to enhance and guide market forces. So the main mission and the vision of the THP, which is the Hamilton Project, is the Hamilton Project seeks to advance America's promise of opportunity, prosperity, and growth, and it calls for combining public investments, a secure social safety net, and fiscal discipline. So the vision, the project strategy is to meet the nation's challenges, and it contains the three important principles reflecting the economic experience, which are the economic growth, which is already vital to expand the opportunity and increase the prosperity, the security and growth, which are mutually reinforcing each other, and the effective government. The private sector is the main engine on economic growth, but the government must invest in clinical needs that market forces which will not adequate needs such as education, infrastructure, and basic research. So the 51% of women's labor force participation is shown, and women's labor force participation has been fallen by 3.5% since 2000. So the recent decline is because the pattern persons across women of varying races and ethnicities, education backgrounds, ages, and marital statuses, and for women with and without children alike. In order to facilitate economic growth in the United States, policies are directed towards enabling and encouraging women to participate in the labor force. So in this graph, we can see the women's labor force participation by age group. Among all women ages around 16 and older, participation rates rose around steadily from 1960s to the late 1990s, peaking at 61% in 2000 and declining by 3.5 percentage points since then. Younger workers might reduce labor force participation because they are staying in school longer, developing the additional skills that will lead to increased wages and other labor market advantages in the future. Older workers might decide to retire earlier. In this graph, we can see the participation of women and men by gender. When we examine prime age individuals, we see that men's labor force participation has been declining for decades. By contrast, until recently, women's participation has increased sharply. Between 1962 and 2000, prime age women's labor force participation increased from 43% to 78%, an increase of 35% points or over 75%. But between 2000 and 2006, prime age women's labor force participation fell by 42% from 78% to 74%. Over the same period, prime age men participation fell around 3.5% from 91 to 88%. In this, the participation of women by educational attainment. After 2000, we see that women's all educational group experienced a decline in the participation. Among those with high school diploma or less, prime age labor force participation fell from a peak of 71% in 2000 to 62% in 2016. Women with bachelor degree have seen only modest decline in their participation from 83% at its peak in 2000 to 81% in 2016. Similarly, women with a graduate degree have seen a decrease or less than half percentage point from 87.5 to 87.1% during that time period. And this is the participation of women by marital status in the presence of children under the age 18. Among women ages 20 to 60, only 44% of all married women were participating in the labor market, while almost 75% of never married and 68% of widowed or divorced women were participating. While married women with children continue to participate at lower rates than single mothers and women without a child in home, married women with experienced child, the sharpest longest term increase in participation. Although the paths upward differed by marital status and presence of children, the steady decline since 2000 has been quite similar across all categories of women. So that is an incomplete progress of women in the labor market, which is because the gap between wages of men and women has fallen over the past decades, reflecting women's economic progress. Successive generations of women have obtained more education and received higher wages, entering a broader range of occupations that has previously been male dominated. However, a significant gender wage gap remains. Occupational segregation, difference in academic specialization, difficulty in balancing work and household responsibilities, and wage discrimination, which is likely underlie much of the remaining gender wage gap. And this, we can see the hourly wages for prime men and women. When men tend to work more weeks in a year and more hours in a week than women, gaps in annual earnings are larger than gaps in hourly wages. However, an important advantage of the hourly wage gap is that it is a direct comparison of how men and women are compensated when they do the same amount of work. This gap is particularly relevant to the important time allocation decisions that worker must make between activities like childcare and paid employment. And these are the set of policies to support the needs of the women. For employed women who do not have access to paid sick or maternity leave, caregiving can result in income or job loss. For mothers who want to work or attend school, the high cost and limited availability of quality child care and can keep them out of the labor force or in jobs that do not make full use of their talents. To reduce the employee's burden of short-term and unexpected absence, to care for sick family members, to mandate the provisions and earned paid sick leave to all members of the American workforce, including part-time and temporary workers. To facilitate longer-term leave following the birth or adoption of the child, the creation of the federal paid parental leave program that is available to both mothers and fathers. The company should offer proposal for paid leave for intermittent caregiving and childbirth, respectively, to keep the women in workforce for providing them with the flexibility they need. And the tax policy to encourage women labor force participation by Sarah Lolama from the Williams Colleges. She proposes that second earner deduction, which is about 15% of the earnings of lower earning spouse, and this would raise the after-tax return to work for many homemakers and would reduce marriage penalties on average. And these are the effects of gender neutral paid leave. A national paid leave program is proposed that is designed to promote gender equity through entitlements to 12 weeks of paid time of work for both mothers and fathers. Additional program elements include job protection during the leave and broad eligibility to parents with minimal employment histories, a wage replacement act of 75% for low earners and 50% at higher earning up to maximum. And there is an increasing economic security of older women, in which the spans of women relative to men as reason to be especially concerned about the economic risk women face at their ages. Indeed, women aged 65 and older are twice as likely as their male counterparts to live in the poverty. However, the economic vulnerability is tied to specific factors, being or becoming single or experiencing disability rather than product of aging generally. We therefore argue that policies designed to mitigate economic insecurities among older women should be linked to these factors. And this graph, we can see that women's poverty by ages. The most commonly used measure of economic vulnerability for the general population is the poverty rate. Older people, however, rely relatively on the accumulated wealth to support themselves than does the working age population, which renders income-based measures like poverty incomplete. Overextended rates for older women are much higher than the poverty rates regardless of age, but those rates evolve differently with age. The poverty rates rise with age, starting below 10% for women in the late 60s and reaching 18% for women of age 85 and above. The overextended rate of the women in late 60s is 32%, declining to 27% for women aged 85 and above. So the main conclusion of this Hamilton project is, as women age, they become increasingly a risk of widowhood and disability, two important drivers of economic insecurity later in life. Many women would benefit from transferring wealth from periods of relative security to periods of relative insecurity. Because social security constitutes an important source of wealth for most elderly people, we believe that the program could be altered to help reduce economic insecurity among older women. They show that relatively modest reductions in the benefits while women are married and not disabled can finance more generous benefits during periods of widowhood and disability. This insurance could be voluntary and self-financing, thus leaving the long-run financing of Social Security unaffected. So the Hamilton project has worked to understand and offer evidences-based solution for precisely the types of challenges faced by women. And reversing the decline in women's workforce participation is vital for economic growth. By acting to remove barriers to women's participation, we can realize stronger economic growth that will be more broadly satisfied by the American people. And why the Hamilton project should be implemented in India? It's because from that gap, we can see that women's participation has been decreasing in India recently. So this must be definitely implemented. And these are the set of organizations which help the women in providing more career opportunities. And this, for the first one is Jobs for Her, which was founded by Neha Bharia. She organized a mega diversity drive, which took place from March 7th and March 11th. And companies like Target, Lions, Mindtree, Month3 took part in the drive. Job opportunities ranging from full-time, part-time, WHF to freelance opportunities are provided in this platform. And Avatar Event, which was founded by Dr. Soundarya Rajesh, she believes that equality often does not work in gender space in corporates due to various unique issues. And AIW, which is the Avatar Event, has nearly 40,000 women on its network and has placed 8,000 women after a break. And these are the set of return to work programs for the women who had a career break in their life to have to bounce back to these opportunities. And the Tata Group, this platform offers a plethora of job opportunities from across Tata Group companies, and women can choose opportunities that suit their schedule. And SAP, which is the Systems, Applications and Products, and this program give opportunities for program-based assignments and practical assignments. And the main takeaway message from this Hamilton project is that, so we can see the women movement has changed a lot in US and other parts of the world. So this should be definitely implemented in India, and it should be processed in district level to panchayat level, and the NGOs in the private sector should be a part of this. Since this requires a big move because of the gigantic scale, everyone should be positive about this. So in this image, both men and women should be treated equally, and that's what the picture depicts. And an equal world is an enabled world, which was the agenda for the International Women's Day 2020. And ma'am, can I have the polling questions, please? Please do the polling questions, everyone, to have interactive session right now.
It takes only less than half a minute. Kindly requesting all the participants to vote for these polling questions. Yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah.
3, 4, it's going up 5, 6. Please vote for these polling questions. 30, 38, 49, 50. It's going up. Please requesting all of you, please vote this. Please, for closing, last 30 seconds. It's good. 179, 186 going up. Last 20 seconds. Thank you. Please show the result, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sachandya, over to you.
Thank you everyone for responding. So my questions were, the work from home opportunities provides more career opportunities, and it's shown like S for about 62%. So yeah, it provides more opportunities, and maybe about 27%. So there are people who are not agreeing, but it will increase, the opportunities will be increasing after this post-COVID situation, and the Hamilton project to be established in other parts of the world, and there's a 71% of X. Thank you. And yeah, it should be definitely implemented in India, so the women will be having a more career opportunities, and the less tax burden between the men and women, and to have a more skilled roles for women. And yes, it's about 86%. Thank you. So women should definitely move to high skilled roles by 2030 for her to stand unique and have more career opportunities. And is the work from home platform applicable for jobs like factory manager and HR? It's actually no, but right now it's no, it's not possible, but it might be implemented by the companies for the roles like factory manager and HR to be part of WFH, which is the work from home opportunities. Yeah.
Thank you, Shashantika. It was really a great presentation from you.
Yeah,
Bringing out the Hamilton project, key references were also included. We also touched upon the various people at the various sectors also. Disparity among the wages was also discussed in our previous speaker, like Dr. Sharani also on the previous day. And we are glad to inform you that in MBITS, in our institute, women are also performing equally well, like men also. So as you can see that in our groups and key positions, they are also involved. And the government tax policies for women, paid leave, all these things are very good. And you made an extremely well presentation by connecting all the parameters. And return back to work, the career break is also exemption. And again, being a b.tech students, you have done an extremely well presentation, and I'm sure that will be a really motivation for all the students to come for and presenting a paper on our forthcoming webinars. That is one of the missions which we started along with the Dr. Barla sir as well as Dr. Jayakumar sir, as we are setting that this forum should be for the next generation, the students. So you are the stakeholders, the prime stakeholders of any of the institutions, and we need to go for. I think we will take one or two questions, then we will move forward. Meanwhile, all the participants, you can also start filling up the feedback form, which we will be sending to you for two purposes. One is to get our own feedback as well as for distribution of the certificate. Now, along with that, we will take the questions from the panel members. And any observations in between, Dr. Jayakumar sir or Dr. Barla sir, please come on board in between after the questions. Manju, please go ahead with the first question.
Okay, sir, thank you. The questions are, the first question is, most women can leave office by 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., but men can't. Is this an harassment to men?
Would like to take that question, please?
I think men should answer. One of the
Okay, Barla sir, over to Barla sir.
Thank you for that question. It's a good question to start with, and it is not a punishment, it's a pleasure. Men who are workaholic would keep on working. There were times when we worked overnight, 48 hours non-stop during the project. So when you get intoxicated into work, you don't care about it is you're doing for whom you're doing and things like that. And yes, women have to be released by 5 o'clock or whatever stipulated time. They would go. We have no grounds about it, nor rather. In fact, men do not think that somebody is going early. No, somebody is going early as per the office norms. But I work because of my intoxication into the work, and I have targets and I have so much of AC. Look at the IT boys and girls. They work so much because they have their clients from US and UK who are pressing and who are online, and you can't go home. You need to deliver the work. There are fixed targets. So it is the workplace is changing into a different style altogether, where the work will dictate the kind of emotion that you have with your work. Therefore, the issue of men grousing women very early, in my career, I have not seen. But thanks for the good question.
Okay, sir.
And sir, I have some more comments also. Now, as you said, the women has multiple roles also than men. She is a mother, she is a wife, she has to take house in the house, lot of other responsibilities also. That also we have to take into consideration. And I think that part we have to take. So it's like, you know, balancing the situation. Like we will be, there is nothing wrong that if you stay an extra hour or two in the office, we can manage things. And also to the audience, I'm telling that during this conference, mostly you can see that women are involved. Even I was getting late calls after 7 o'clock also. They were calling and asking me certain things. I was answering to that. So it doesn't mean that women are exactly leaving at 7 o'clock. Even later in the evening, even after 9 o'clock, they call me. Even some of the presenters who are sitting here in front of us, they also call me late night for a testing. And also, even whether it is men or women, they are not strictly into the time slot of 5 p.m. Okay, go ahead with Manju.
Okay, sir. Thank you. The next question is, how do we measure woman empowerment? What is Woman Empowerment Index?
See, women empowerment, when you look it across the different countries, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. When you look at the way women have been empowered across different countries, then you'll see how the women are placed in the parliament, in the political situations, and how they are placed at major positions in the companies and all that. So you measure according to the country's ability. So probably that is closer to Women Empowerment Index, I guess. But more than the defining in index and all this, I think women must understand their capacities, and they should understand where they need to be empowered, and they should fight for their empowerment instead of asking for definitions of index and all that. So we must first look at how are we empowered at our places, and are we placed at the right place is very important for me. So index and all this doesn't matter. Of course, we are very low when compared to other countries.
I have some additional point here to be added when it comes to women empowerment. I feel the way we look at the empowerment index is more a quantitative aspect. We are not looking at a quantitative aspect. I think as women, we need to now more look into how qualitatively can we really take up, enjoy the control of, enjoy and have the rights of general gender, irrespective of it. And then how do we really, because most of the women, as I mentioned in my talk as well, they give their life, their time, their age, and their energy so much to the family, This is also a continuation of the previous question, because women have to move back, because women can be a CEO, but she is a mother. Women can be a teacher, but she is a mother. Because if I have to counsel my daughter, she would never listen to me. She thinks I'm only a mother. So I think it is more got to do with that profile of, placing yourself as a mother, because a mother is just not a mother to the kid. A mother is also a mother to the husband, because everything has to be taken care of. That's a kind of a dependency, an emotional dependency. I think the rights come here in the process of doing so much for the family. I think a time comes in wherein the women forgets that she has to improve her skills, or she has different abilities to showcase what she can be to the society. Because most of the time she's so much for the family. I think this is an area, this is called women empowerment, where she knows what her skills are, and apart from the family, what she can contribute to the society, and what her presence can make a value to the society can be appropriately called as women empowerment as per me.
Yeah, that's what if I could just take up. That's what I was actually trying to say in one of my slides. Because of time, I couldn't concentrate. See, we'll have to take up this issue of women and men and their empowerment or their equality in the school itself. When we are educating our children, schools should have such strong programs. They should educate, the children in such a way that you don't allow them to accept that mother is only for cooking and father is only for going to the office and coming back. So there must be gender equality not only at professional spaces but also at personal spaces. So even at home, a woman has to be, treated equal to a man. And if suppose she has an office work, the man should take up the kitchen. And if man has the, it should be interchangeable, and that's gender equality actually. So it should start right from the school. And we should have, proper and adequate programs on that.
By empowerment, in this world, in this materialistic world, the empowerment should be indexed with economic empowerment and the position, the power and position. Now, a district collector, a lady happens to be a district collector, nobody would dare to harass her, pass comments, not do anything with her because she is power. She will harm that fellow if he does anything to her directly or indirectly. So a district collector's case is that. Now, the men over the ages, they eat fish, they kill fish, they kill goat, and they eat because they're easily available and they are not harmful. But can you eat tiger? Can you dare to go and eat tiger or lion? You don't go nearer to the tiger. The moment tiger comes, you'll run away. The moment a collector comes, you will subjugate and do namaskar. And you will become such a small entity because she is a power. To me, there can be a lot of arguments, but to me, what it appears is empowerment should mean economic independence. And all of you, all the ladies who are here and who are elsewhere, are working because they would like economic empowerment. It's not for the love of the work. The moment I stop your salary, you will not come to the office next day. You need economic independence, therefore you are working. Primarily. After that, you get emotional with your work and you develop the field and you do research and you teach well and things like that will happen to you. They are a part of the game. But essentially, it is the money which drives this world. And the other thing is women making powerful themselves. I mean, everybody cannot be a district collector. But can you be like a collector? Can you be powerful yourself by virtue of your personality, that emotional coefficient Madam has talked about? Can you be like Rupa Madam in Madagascar? Can you be like Chashantika, who's presented so well? They are powerful. They're powerful women. They made themselves powerful, not because of their positions, but by their personality. But there are other weaker women. When a man tries to approach, they would be silent. They would. There are ladies who are fearful. There are ladies who give a smile. They would and neglected. There are the kind of. For men, it is a license. First time when somebody does something to you, if you don't retaliate, pull up all your socks and retaliate. He will understand that you're not an easy prey. He cannot approach you. You're a very powerful woman. You may be a small employee or a big employee, but by personality, you're a tiger. So I cannot eat tiger. I cannot kill tiger. Second, first time, if you retaliate like this, if you show this behavior, that it stops there. Second time, you take action. That's it. First time, second time, third time, you don't do anything. You have given him license. You have given keys to a thief. Everything will happen to you, and they have a lot of plans, methods of surmounting you, and things like this. So I would think, it's only my hallucination, that apart from the government or the organizations which are doing, it's like putting a porous dam against a water flow. A water flow is coming, a river is coming, you put a dam, and the dam is porous. If the dam is porous, water keeps on flowing. All these mechanisms, you talk of Women's Act 2013, Domestic Violence Act 2005, you talk of 498A, is all bullshit. They are good thinking instruments. They are outcomes of a good thought. But they have not been able to change the scene. They have not been able to, an FIR made and all that. Yesterday I was talking about it. What is missing is two things. One is economic dependence over the times that man has took upper hand. So therefore, can the woman supplement the man instead of subjugating to the man? So therefore, we have started giving education to our children. We have started sending our spouses to workplace and things like this. And the economic independence is happening and things, it has to happen in a bigger way. The other is, of course, I repeated, personal empowerment, emotional intelligence, and so on. These women have to think about it. And to me, empowerment means only this. You make your girls very strong that no man can approach them directly or indirectly. It is only the weaker, it is a nature. It is ever since the Charles Darwin talked about the survival of the fittest. Somebody was referring in the earlier presentations. This is a natural theory that the weakest will perish. Big fish, small fish, tiger, goat, examples are before us. And why do you want to be a weaker person? Can you be a stronger person that we can do any harm to you? That is the only answer. All these mechanisms being put are additional supports. But the primary solution lies in a woman making. I know one of the ladies from Khammam who became a minister later on. I was traveling in Delhi at Barakamba Road. The signal came in and her car is just touching the line. She is not crossed, but she is touching the line. A policeman came and started talking to her, and then after a minute, he started bad language and things like that. She comes out of the car and slaps him left and right. He's a police sub-inspector on duty, traffic inspector on duty. And this lady slapped him left and right. I was there in the other car. I was watching the tamasha. And he went and put a case against her. And finally, she won. Can you consolidate your strengths that are hidden in you and fight for yourself instead of becoming a weak entity? If you are a weak entity, you will be overcome. If you're a strong entity, you will not. Financially become a strong entity. Personality-wise become a strong entity. You are the winner. Yesterday I was telling, this will be a female-dominated world if this message goes across and we work towards empowering women on financially and personality-wise. That's it. Rest, everything else is supportive mechanisms.
That's a really great message, sir.
Thank you.
You need to develop your committees. So what I was talking about committees, you have to, women themselves, like what Dr. Trojan was saying, must become great role models, and also they must empower these committees. The seniors must empower them and give a lot of chance for the juniors to question, discuss, and they as a committee members must do a lot of training and empower these young women so that they are very bold and open, like what sir said, each and every person can be a district commissioner if they know that they could always go and complain and an action can be taken. So strong committees always have very strong women in their organization.
Over to Manju, please.
Thank you, sir. The next question is, how can we equip women to succeed while balancing work and home? And what is the role of men in women empowerment?
I think Madam Dr. Ruba, you want to take that question? You are being the most senior most, having 11 main key portfolios. Kindly unmute. Yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you so much to everyone, and very nice event today. I'm very happy to hear on this. We are taking good time, and even though we are busy schedule also, and Dr. Kavita madam and Dr. Savita madam also, and Miss Shanchita, it's a too good explanation. It's really amazing. I spent time. It's very good and valuable time for this, and everyone explained, and Dr. Bala sir explained amazing about women and this. There is no difference between, as per my view, there is no difference between men and women. And Dr. Soja also already explained about this. It's really fantastic and great views about women. And first of all, I think women as a, it's, we can say in Hindu is like that Shakti. Okay, as a lady, as a Shakti, but I never feel like that I'm a woman. I feel always we are a human being. We must do something to do all the time. We must act as a personal level, as we are one of the, we have one power. Life is one time. So we never waste the time. So I never imbalance it like that. We have family. My family is very big strength. A very big strength, and without family we can't do anything. And you must maintain that level when you wake up early in the morning. You must maintain that you are, yes, you first yourself, first love yourself, and then automatically you will get everything in that whole day what you are in the role. Okay, and time is very precious, and every second it very enjoyment, and you must balance with your family at the same time. Your career also, your base, your where you are working. Work is worship, always we are saying, and at the same time we are spending time much more other than the family. We are spending time our workplace. That is our it's called God place. I feel always that time I'm spending time 18 to 20 hours out of family, out of my time, to spend to several protocols to maintain and all. As we are maintaining 7 protocols, so we must maintain that level. So, but I never. Sometimes it may be some health issues only. It can be middle disturbance. Otherwise, everything is good balancing. And sometimes, you know, even I don't know the what next day traveling plan. Also, sometimes I'm a we can say it's a foreign bureau investigation, like federal bureau investigation, like CBI in India. I'm maintaining FBI in French colonies. That is a very hectic job, but I'm enjoying my all roles. Even though I'm happy to serve more roles also, it's okay. That's God gift to having this all. And what you say, we can say so many things, sir, but I don't want to waste time on this to you. If you start one day also, it's not enough. But I have very good experience in the whole world, not only India, not only Madagascar, and been 114 countries. You could say as a, I want to give, that is, Dr. Sojan sir also worked as a Syria, right? Right, sir? In
Yeah,
Syria.
I worked 5 years in Syria, 5 years.
Yeah, it's very really amazing. You know, I was selected technical advisor for Lebanon. It's a nearby border of Syria. Lebanon president. So at the time, I'm International Development Authority. I got one call from Madagascar, relationship from Madagascar to European country. I'm the mediator for those. So as we know, everyone world that this 2017 December end. So those time they want to develop something. They already blasted everywhere. So I got call. I must some bilateral system. I want to develop something because Syria have this oil deposits, and the European want to develop. They need this oil, and the Syrian people they want to develop that area. So I saw that I've been with protocol with six commandos with me and one private helicopter on that area, and all my family told me when they heard about this Syria name, they told me we are not supporting about this Syria name, so don't go like that. So I told him, no, this is my job, I cannot say no. So it must be go whatever it. If I want to, if my life is end there, okay, no problem. I'm happy to that. It doesn't matter. So I'd been there, but government gave only 6.5 hours to took up everything to finalize. But by force, I took time special as FBI rule, and I got 48 hours. I spent over there. I'd been there everywhere. It's really worst. We cannot explain that situation scenario. One lady, 7-star like that home, all spoiled. She is still alive there. It's a one side. It at like almost paralyzed. She was cried literally. And the time I spent with her time, and I heard about the news in Syria. So I had, like this, so many countries like even Jordan and even Palestine, and been all countries, different experiences. So I never seen that man woman and difference really. I want to say it's a good amazing experience. He said this is my experience, some of in this I'm sharing with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rupa. I think we never had such a senior person in any of our webinars, and a person who visited 114 countries, and a so courageous lady with explaining. I'm sure that this will be a real inspiration for all Indians and all women, and also we are really proud of you and your actions also. And when you said the work is worship, that's really amazing. That's how you take your work into your heart. So thank you very much. Over to Manju, please.
Thank you, sir. The next question is to Ms. Savita, ma'am. The question is quoting a case study. That is, there is a problem to be solved. A woman who was harassed by her husband lodged a complaint in police station. He was put in jail for few years, and later he started harassing her, and he was sent to jail again. She took her twin daughters and reached nearby city where she worked as a servant in a hospital and was trained as a nurse. Then she met a boy in a park who was an engineering student who had sexual contact for pleasure. The boy habituated in talking to other women, especially married women, for sex to get self-satisfaction, avoiding the woman met in the park. That woman planned to attempt suicide, but she felt bad of the situation in her life occurred twice, as her husband and the engineering boy accused her. The woman said she lives only for her twin daughters. How could we solve this case?
Well, I think it's rightly asked only to me, because this is more a case of mental health. Now, circumstances and situations, we all go through different situations, and we all, in our own respect, we try to face it. So during this, this troubles and turmoil, there is a lot of mental support we need. So sometimes what happens, some women are very fortunate to have a very strong supporting family. But certain women will not have that. So at that point of time, they need certain counseling and guidance. So for this, they can always take help of the psychiatrist, and they can always discuss these kind of issues. And also, there are a lot of social organizations, women empowering organizations, who would also support them. So probably this is a matter somewhere between mental health and social well-being of women. So this is something a community should handle this kind of situation. That is all I can say with this kind of a story. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, how can we convince our parents that we are capable to handle the work, especially when my religion does not allow me being around men?
Being
Around men.
around men.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Why should you be around men? I mean, at the workplace, is it?
Yes, yes. At the work.
Okay. Now, these are kind of challenging situations. Now, this is one situation which you are talking about. There could be million situations like this which will be stopping us from going out and working. But then these are the challenges which we have to face, and we have to appropriately deal with it. Now, I cannot say how to deal with the religious situations. It could happen in any religion. So these are the challenges we need to take. First of all, we need to be educated by ourselves, and then we need to find the appropriate job, and also stay happy. So this is something which individually we'll have to face this, to take it as a challenge and convince the parents and come out of the situation. So this is something I could say. Maybe Dr. Kavita could give her opinion.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. So what I feel is like, when there is a will, there is a way. That is first thing one has to understand. And eventually you cannot live without men. This is another fact. And any negotiation skill, women are absolutely amazing at negotiation skills. Many studies have proven that. Why they are good at negotiation skills? Because they have empathy, they have a social skill development where they can convince the other person to do so. So being a woman, that is a big advantage like you already have with you. Second is, all you need to do is to develop that communication and that convincing skills of negotiation with your parents and tell them that you want to achieve in life. Because see, it's very painful to die every day living. And it is very pleasurable to live only for one day, and then later die. So let us never live dying. That is the first thing we need to understand. And second thing is, because I mean, I know pretty well that with the kind of situations that are happening, with the kind of gruesome rapes, I think it's more than a religion. I think parents eventually are really bothered about, because this is because most of the debates I keep participating, this is some talk that the questions that keep coming to me. Parents are really worried when the girls go out because of the gruesomeness in the approach, on rapes and all this stuff. And I think one aspect is, what my observation goes, as long as one is safe, one is protective, one is able to understand and use the gut feeling and intuitive intelligences to know and feel the threat of that situation, everybody can save themselves. That is the point number one. Unless until it is purely this, you cannot do anything, you cannot go out of it. I think the most important thing is, just because there is an accident on the road, you don't stop going on the roads. You do go, but you do take the safety precautions. And I think we need to understand, first, it is not as a female, more as a human being, what am I? And what I feel, I'm sorry, I'm little being rude here. First, you are not very convinced about it. Let me tell you, as a person, if you are convinced, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. When you are not convinced, you start finding excuses on parents, or probably you are in 50-50%, like cat on the wall. Should I listen to parents, or you don't have that strong determination and willpower, to say, yes, I have to do it. If you think, yes, I have to do it, I'm sure you can do it. I'll give you a small example. I usually visit jails to counsel the inmates. I happened to visit a Chinchalguda prison here, which has the female inmates. I spoke to the jail dean. She's from a very conservative religion family, and she's around 60. She actually retired this year. She started, her education after her marriage, after having her kids. I mean, after her kids became 15, 16 years, then she realized she had to do something for the society. At that age, she studied and she did their counseling. She came back. She's still working with this. So I think the problem is not with your parents. The problem is with you. So please be sure, if you are really determined, you can do it. If you are not, then your mind is so lazy. I tell you, mind is such a lazy piece of organ, brain, I mean, not the mind. Brain is such a lazy organ that, it's in its own comfort levels, being pretty happy. happy in its own sense. I'm happy like this, parents are feeding me, I'm happy, sitting at home. Is this what you want in life? Please decide for yourself. I think the problem is not with the parents, problem is with you. Please rethink awareness, create an awareness and start working on it. The problem should be solved.
I think thanks. It's a really wonderful answer, and all. I'm sure that this topic is such elaborative. You may need 1 day, 2 days. It may not be sufficient. Also, I think because of the time constraint, we'll go around with the panel members, and we may conclude. And also, this has opened a very active discussion in the forum. I'm sure that maybe people can directly interact with you on a later occasion because you are already given your contacts details also. So I'd like to go around these panel members. Let us start with our Dr. Professor Jaykumar sir for your final round of comments, sir. And also this is the UGC order which we are showing on the ground. So that is how we are starting all these programs. Over to Jaykumar sir. Please unmute for him, please. I think. You're unmuted already, I think. Sound is not coming. So we'll come back to you, sir. Maybe you'll try again. Okay, Dr. Ruba, madam. Oh, Dr. Bala, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, there are wonderful presentations we've had today, one from Madagascar, one on emotional intelligence, safety and security, and the Hamilton project. These ladies have presented so well. Their presentation skills are extraordinary. Their voice and accent has been extraordinary. And it was interesting to listen to those presentations. And there were a lot of lessons and a lot of important points which were coming up. Thanks for all these presentations. And the last two questions have fascinated me. A role of men in women empowerment. The second question, it's a taboo in a family for a girl to go to a place surrounded by men. These two questions, I'll take just a few seconds to answer. We were, few ages back, we were adoring women. We worshipped women. Later on, something went wrong. It became a male-dominated society. It only means that we can go back to the stages where women are worshipped. There are a lot of matrilineal societies. I think Kerala used to be, or Kerala is, doctor should tell me, it's a matrilineal society where head of the family is a woman. Andhra, for example, or UP, for example, it's a father is head of the family. Now, by virtue of being head of the family, you have certain roles, you have certain responsibility and things like that. And when you move on to matrilineal societies, everything falls in. But then to make a matrilineal society, men have to accept, men have to adore, and men have to accentuate the women. Men have to accept that women have wonderful potential. They have IQ, they have EQ, they have intelligence, and they have everything. And enormous amount of GDP or national income can be created. You're languishing around 4% or 5%. This year it will be 1.5% GDP. But your GDP will go to 12 if women potential is exploded. Can the men accept this and work for unearthing the potential hidden in women? That men have to think about it and give a place for women to lead, to exploit their fullest potentials. That's what I mean by accepting. Men have to accept that it is possible to create a female-dominated society where everybody will be happy. The day your GDP is, your national income is 12%, growing at 12%, everything you have, everything you have. And you need to worship. Women is the power, the nature power she is, and she is goddess, whether you accept or not. You need to learn as men to worship the goddess. There's no way. I mean, she is working. These ladies are here. These ladies are here as representations of the goddess. The goddess is in many, many forms. And these are the women of that power. And we need to accept that and accentuate, empower them. You give them all support, you give them education, you give them safety, security, and you give them financial support and everything, accentuate them so that this society becomes a beautiful society. A beautiful society. That was my feeling about the role of men in empowering women.
Thank you, sir. It's really amazing. Talks.
Yeah. The second question is about men being around. Now, if a girl child is there in her home, there are men in the family. There are men in the relative circle. She is not afraid. Our parents will not disallow them from going to relatives and family mingling, brothers and sisters and things like that, because parents know that it is safe. She is very safe in these men. Now, can you also create a workplace where there is double security for women, even than at family? My daughter should go to a workplace because that workplace is so nice. These men are so good. We have made these workplaces in ITC. If you look at any of the ITC companies, I worked in ITC for 22 long years, and so you will notice that it is possible to create workplaces by men, like family where men are there. Today they are not allowing the girls to go to those places because they were surrounded by Rakshasas. Can the Rakshasas become Ramas? Then that workplace is as good as family, so she can go there. It all, Infosys, if you go to Infosys Mysore campus, there are 60% of women working there. Lovely place, and nobody would disallow any woman to go and work there. It is a pride to work there. I would, instead of being at my home, my daughter should go to Infosys and work there because it is safe, it is economically sound. She will learn quite a lot. She will improve her personality. She is a very powerful woman. That's how we can make women powerful. Thank you very much.
Wonderful section, sir. Over to Dr. Ruba Madam from Madagascar. Please, your final concluding remarks, please.
So thanks once again, all MBITS family, and very good information again and again. I'm telling you, and I learned so much today. I feel very great, and we will. I would like to introduce some more people in your organization. I would like to, if your permission. It is same related when they saw about this your MBITS, are very happy actually, and so I would like, if you permit on that, we'll give later some more people to join with this your organization and all.
Yeah.
For this, and let's say something. Everyone, I would like to say thank you once again. Then let's say I would like to rush some other
Yeah, I
works.
know that your timings may be very short. That's why I took on board you. Maybe if
Yes,
you are in
yes,
a
sir.
rush, you can also leave. We will continue with the remaining panel members
Oh, okay,
because
sir.
I can understand your pressing
Yeah,
timing
I
schedule.
want to say so many things, but time limits are there. That's why I'm rushing
Yeah,
a
we'll
bit.
frequently meet. So we'll make
Yeah,
other
yeah,
occasions also. We'll have
yeah,
coming back
definitely, sir.
also. If you
Definitely,
are having the time schedule, you can also leave. By that time, you will go with other panel members also. It may take another 5-6 minutes more.
yeah. Okay, I will wait for 5-6 minutes. Okay, no
Okay,
issue at
over
all.
to Jaykumar sir for the final concluding remarks, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Oh, sound is not coming, sir. Mm-hmm. Sir, something went wrong. Sir, we are not catching you. So maybe once you log out and you may log in again, maybe something may work. Okay, sir. Meanwhile, we'll pass to the next panel members. Dr. GC Kavita, please. Your final remarks. Unmute, please. Unmute. Yeah.
So first, I would like to give my congratulations to MBITS for arranging such a wonderful webinar. Considering exclusively the women empowerment series. There is one question that I've been seeing, that when would men, men be empowered? I happen to see some question coming on the chat box. So as long as the Kanyadan becomes Purushdan, usually they say Kanyadan, a girl is given for the marriage. You call it Purushdan. As long as the surname is of the mother, as long as, rather than telling giving away the bride, you say giving away the bridegroom. As long as the female gets the same thing. We had enough of patriarchal society. The India has been seeing that since many years now. So I think once we start seeing, I think then we will go to that. So I think this is more on a funnier side. So I think culturally we are so embedded, talking about the patriarchal societies, and then the moral power which we have given to the men. Men have been socially, culturally so much empowered, and that is what is the feeling that the female is getting. When a female gets that, it means that men are already empowered. So I think it's time that we get away from the gender stereotyping and then go with an equality, gender equality. So thank you so much, sir. It's been a wonderful session, and then it's been my pleasure, in fact, absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. Rani from Native Warangal.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Today the session is so wonderful. Every day I enjoyed the session. Even I should tell that when Sojanlal sir called me that I should be part of this one with the permission from my director, NITW, he gave my name to collaborate with you. I am so happy that I can say that the success of the webinar of the title with women, the men is behind this scene. All of the men, from director sir and Jaykumar sir, who's my advisor, everything in NIT Warangal. Whenever I get the doubt, I go to him. He advised me to do the things in this way. Then Sojanlal sir, I'm happy to work with you, sir. Then
Thank you.
Barla sir, excellent man with the knowledge that guides perfectly, and wherever we go, the deviation puts back into the track. And then I should thank Shiny and Rini also, their excellent tireless work in this team. Nearly 2 weeks, every day we are in coordination with everyone. And the speakers, when I called Kirti Srivastava madam about this one, then immediately she accepted that. Okay, ma, I will go ahead. I'll wait for the invitation later. So really so happy to associate with the people, with the smooth going on. And Rashmi Bharatwaj, yeah, she known to me for 2-3 years. A very nice lady in the same field of mine, mathematics department. So encouraging. And Kavita ma'am, I'm hearing you are talking NIT Warangal. It's really a happiness moments to associate with.
Correct.
Thank you so
Cannot
much, ma'am.
forget to say about Savita madam. Really so beautifully explained about the engineering students' feelings. Really, I'm so happy to associate with Savita madam also. I cannot forget to tell each and everyone who is behind this one. For all these things, I should thank my father first, who encouraged me to go further, and the motivation come from my mother. My grandmother gave the personal courage to my mother for the studies, and my mother told that you must be financially independent to have a courage. With her support, I gone up to PhD. Then I went to the Taiwan. There also they have given the cancer work. Then I thought that as a mathematician, what I can do in the cancer work. There also a man, Tony Shu, I couldn't forget his name. Still now, he tells that as a woman, why are you telling like this? In India, the Prime Minister is Indira Gandhi, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, everywhere you see. But in India, you people are telling that woman is like this, that, etc. He told to my mother itself. Yeah, so it is so nice to be associated with the men who are of like-minded people. It is easy to move, to progress further. So this is my remarks. So we have to go hand in hand, not like you are superior, I am inferior. As Rupa madam is the example. So she is excellent, so motivated. And I should say thanks especially to Sojan sir and Barla sir for giving a chance for Bhavana. She is 1 year old married lady with a professional break. Because of marriage, she has to shift from Bangalore to Madras, and a 2 months old girl child she has. When I called her and said that there is an opportunity for you to open up, she said that I lost my job for a year, I lost my touch, even though I am a MBA PhD student. Then I told her, okay, there are people to motivate you, don't go behind. Then really, Sojalal sir and Barla sir took so much patience to correct them. You project in this way. Really, it is so nice. Then Radhika madam also said that title is about engineers, what I'm going to talk. Then I said that no need to tell about only engineers. It is whole society should be projected there. Webinar means it is inviting nearly 1,000 to 2,000 people sitting in front of us. So you tell your personal experience that really touches the people. Then Shashantika, she is also afraid I should use that word. How can I do this one? What should I tell? I haven't done any work for the past within 2 weeks time. How can I do all this stuff? Then I told her some tips. But actually this THP project, etc., she only brought out that one. I gave colors to that one with the help of again Sojanlal sir and Barla sir. So thank you, sir, to be associated with you in this international webinar. I am happy to be associated with you in all these things.
Thank you all. Such an elaborative explanation and bringing back with all our stories. Over to you, Jaykumar sir, please. Is it your sound system, sir?
Connect on video if possible.
Sir, otherwise what we do is you speak to me through the WhatsApp. I will connect you with the audio. Is it possible?
Make a video call, sir, Jaykumar sir.
Yeah. Sir, you take that call.
To Dr. Sojan.
Yeah, you can speak, sir. It's audible.
Can you hear?
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So today we had really amazing presentation. I'm very happy.
You can increase the volume, Dr. Sojan. Just increase the volume.
Dr. Savita, Dr. Ashmi and Kirti. Because I talked to them before Rani talked to them. So they're all amazingly successful women. And we have been able to hear their success who never felt they're inferior because they're women. So that's a basically important that men and women are complementary and supplement each other and not subordinate to anyone. That is very important. And one of the important thing is that where women are working, the industry has been very productive. Women's productivity is higher than men. In many places where women are holding middle level or high level positions, the productivity is very, very high. And very recently, when Government of India wanted us some survey, one of the questions was how many women are at the decision making levels, at the middle level or the senior level, how many women are there? So that is very important, that women must be brought to the limelight. It is not that they are anyway inferior. They are very, very equal, if not superior to us. I always tell the women are superior. I am convinced because I live with a lot of women at home. And amazing talks that we had. And to just recall Dr. Kavita's word, and women are unconsciously skilled and consciously skilled also. I mean, that is something which is very, very relevant to women. And I think the conference has been very successful. I congratulate MBITS for the wonderful organization. Technically, they're very, very good. And I wish them all the very best and many more successful such webinars. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So it was really, we could connect to you over that sound also settle. I think Dr. Savita, final remarks.
That's why I just remind you that I started my talk thanking all the men who've been so nice to us and who've been so much encouraging to us at the workplace. Over 1993, I started my journey of medicine, and now at the workplace as a faculty, we've encountered so many men who've been constantly encouraging us. So it's just that our viewpoint, how we view things, the more positive we are, the more positive outcomes we get. And life is very challenging. This is for all the young girls, that the challenges have to be faced. Cribbing and complaining to an extent won't help. So wherever it's required, you need to complain, yes, but then decision makers are you. So you have to work on your issues, take upon and face the challenges, and live upon to live your dream. So whatever you dream of, you can definitely see the brightest day. So it was a pleasure coming to your engineers platform and speaking on women. So thank you very much, Jaikumar sir and Dr. Sojan, for being so nice to me all these days and encouraging me to give a talk on this.
Yeah, and I think we'd like to listen from Shashantika, please. And I think this is a really great opportunity for you, please. Shashantika.
Yes, sir. So at last, I would like to tell there are many restrictions for girls, and parents are very afraid for sending girl childs outside. But these stuff should not prohibit us from doing what we like and what we do. And so, as as Kavita ma'am said, we should pick ourselves up. We should. If you want to do something we like, we should definitely do that. We should achieve the heights, and we should not let the other factors stop us from doing what the things we like. So thank you for giving me this immense opportunity. I'm very thankful for you. And I'm actually, this is my start of the career, so not my career, but I would like to do a lot of presentation, a lot of conferences. I would like to attend all of these conferences, and thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, and wish you all the best. And Dr. Kavita, anything else you would like to add?
I think the best presentation award should go to Shashantika. I would recommend Dr. Sojan sir to think that we make the best presentation award, looking at her age and experience and education. We must announce her an award.
I would expect that Dr. Ruba madam please approve that request so that we will announce that.
Best
yes, sir. Exactly. I would like. I was thinking for the same. It's really amazing. That's a small girl. She did wonder. I would like to request for the same to give it to her. Excellent, best presentation award to her.
Congratulations, Shushantika. You won the best presentation award for this one. And we'll give the certificate also. And I hope that a letter of appreciation also we can get from Dr. Ruba Madam, especially also. Congratulations.
Thank you so much,
much.
everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations, beta. It's
Thank
really
you.
amazing.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And you are the very big, I can feel from you here, you will very big achiever in the future. It's really amazing.
Much,
amazing.
Sure.
God bless you. And
Thank
you please, my request, you must every day your mother, father. This is my personal advice. You must pray your father, mother. They are only our gods. Without them, we are nothing.
Right, ma'am.
Even also, I am here without my father and mother. Okay, and time. These are three. It's very important in the world. Everyone, I would like to say, and on behalf of this webinar, my mother, father, credit will goes to them, and without them, I am nothing here. And without these are all teamwork,
Right.
we are nothing here. So I can say I am always ground. I'm still learning. I'm learned so much today from you also. I'm really appreciate and God bless you, beta. Thank you.
And also I request that Dr. Ruba Madam, from your personal capacity or official capacity, give her a letter of appreciation also. So in addition to whatever we are giving.
Definitely.
And also,
Thank you so much, ma'am.
and also for all the audience, there is a 45 minutes video which is narrating interview with the Dr. Ruba. I can share you. The content is in Telugu. I hope that at least the South Indians can very well understand. So we'll understand where she started, how she reached, and it's a really beautiful 45 minutes video. And to all the participants, we'll share that content, and also we'll post that in our website also. With your permission, Dr. Ruba Madam.
Thank you so much, sir. It's pleasure to have this, and I'm really happy because of different languages, and I love to work. First of all, I love to work. If there is work, there is no work. You can't believe if Saturday, Sunday will come. No, normally French and out of India, it's no more working Saturday, Sunday. But when Saturday, Sunday would come, almost I like fever. Like I can sense that. No, it's Sunday. It's coming. So there is no work. No. We don't want like that. 24/7 it's work. I'm very happy. It's 4 hours is more than enough to sleep. 3.5 or 4 hours. It's 20 hours. I'm very happy to do that work. This is my every second it's like thinking this way, and we must plan before whatever you are working in the future. But and one more thing, sorry to say. In future, everyone should be don't feel I'm woman or women. Nothing. We are a human being. We think like that. You go ahead. Whatever you have, balance. Whatever you have, you put it right. Dr. Kavita Madam said, yes, you must write. End of the day, you must write it. What you have, what you can do. Okay, you have everything inside. No one to teach. Okay, just skill, reskill, upskill. That Dr. Narendra Modi ji used to tell that startup positions and all. So we must do that level. You must increase your levels. You are the one of the moral support to others. So and don't feel any time negative. There is no negative. When you feel negative, you take in that negative to positive. To never comparison negative positive. Why I am going to down? Why you are wasting time for past? You must cope up at the current time. Because future will become automatically. Okay. So I would like to give some small example about Madagascar. You know, there are that local people don't have. I told before we read that they don't have food for days also. How pity. Okay, and when we are eating 3 times a day, but still we are complaining to our mom. But how it's made? But when we never think that. But I learned so much, so many things with them. 4 days they are waiting for food. Okay, and that if you are giving one small toffee, it's a chocolate. They will give thanks 100 times. 100 times that end toffee also. Everyone is involved in that toffee. They will say thank you. And when we are discussing some office or some other place, they'll come outside. They are not disturbing. till also their courtesy. I'm really sorry, why I'm disturbing you, like that. Because they are not disturbing, but all of a sudden someone will come, and when automatically you are seeing that, no, so they will say, no, I'm really sorry. That's like that way people are courtesy, but they don't have any ego. Some people in India and the other side, I don't want to discriminate that. When we separate ego, you must go. E will be stay there, and go will be go. It's very best. There is no ego, you will be the success. If you have ego, you never success. It's my view, because you feel free from your mind. Yes, you can do. You can do everything. If you feel, you can enjoy. You can enjoy every second. You can do everything. You can achieve. Sky is the limit. This is my things. Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Sojan sir. Special thanks to you, and Dr. Chandaha sir, we will introduce, and from Canada sir, and all, Dr. Jai Kumar, Dr. Bala sir, everyone, amazing. Thank you, and the entire your team, I special thanks, and they did good efforts on this, and may God bless you all, and God bless us all, and every second we must enjoy from this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and we are very much thankful for all of you for joining with this international webinar, and special thanks to all our chief guests, keynote speakers, and speakers, the presenters, and panel lead, Professor Jay Kumar sir, panel members, Dr. Barla sir, Dr. Rani, Shaini, then Rini, and all our technical teams, chief guest Dr. Kirti, Ms. Shruti, Professor Rashmi, Dr. Bhavana, Dr. Sharani, Dr. Ms. Smita, Dr. Radhika, Dr. Juba from Madagascar, Dr. G.C. Kavita, Dr. Savita, and Ms. Shamdiga. You are all done a wonderful program. Thank you very much on behalf of the entire audience, and thank you very much for even the time was little extended, because you know that the situation and the talks were so expiring. That is why it was been extended. And all our technical team members, who are involved in the technical side, certificate creations, and there is a huge amount of work is there, day and night, late night people are joining with us. And again, requesting all the members to give the feedback for us and join for another session on tomorrow. We are starting with another program, which is OBE, outcome-based education. That is another from the higher education. We will send you the details by email. I'm not going to the details. So that's another 3 days program which we are going to have. So join with us on tomorrow, and also later on we'll come up with many other programs also. And praise to the God, respect to our parents, and wish you all the best, and God may bless all of us. And thank you once again for being us. Namaskar, and thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Grateful to all of you. Thank you.